hit the CSX corporate freight train that was stopped on a sidetrack or siding at about 2:35 a.m. Sunday morning. Amtrak President and Chief Executive Richard Anderson said CSX was responsible for the tracks and the signals, including one that had a lock attached to it and diverted the Amtrak train onto the sidetrack. He said in a statement, CSX had lined and padlocked the switch off the main line to the siding, causing the collision. CSX did not address the comments by the Amtrak CEO, but said it was working with federal investigators. Both Amtrak and CSX offered their condolences to the families of the two people who died. Robert Sumwalt, chairman of the U.S. National Transportation Board, told a news conference the section of track was operated by CSX and there was a padlock on the switch that steered train traffic onto the siding. Amtrak engineer Michael Kempf of Savannah, Georgia, and conductor Michael Cella of Orange Park, Florida, were both killed. 2 of the 116 people injured were in critical condition after the wreck, which occurred about 5 miles southwest of the state capital of Columbia. Anderson said the passenger train hit the tail end of the CSX train. The NTSB said the CSX train had 2 locomotives and 34 empty auto racks used to transport cars. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
If you live in Williamsburg, chances are good you've seen them. Giant piles of beard hair rotting in the streets. Don't worry, it just means hipster molting season is here again. Experts say the husks of dead beards don't pose a threat to public safety and are just part of the natural life cycle of these strange organisms.
Once a year, all at the same time, every 20-something urban male sheds his ironic beard to make room for larger, more fanciful facial hair. They need the beards. They're a tough exoskeleton that protects these young people from the non-whimsical realities of life.
The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service says it's the largest molting season on record. In Brooklyn, sanitation crews are working overtime to clean up the loose whiskers the exuviating males have left behind. The affected youth's molting season comes right before their mating season, when the males use their lush beards to impress the local hordes of burlesque females.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. Hello, welcome to the program. You, of course, are free to join us here. You can talk about whatever you want. The number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got Skype as well. The Skype username is lrn.fm. Plus, there's the Discord call-in line, which is our newest call-in option for you. Just go to discord.lrn.fm. You can get into the Discord. You can chat with other Free Talk Live listeners and some of the hosts during, before, and after the show there. With you in the studio tonight, you've got Ian.
Melanie.
And Darryl.
Lots in the news to discuss here. Immigration. Darryl, you want to talk about that a little bit later on. Coinbase, 1099 forms. Apparently, some people are riled up about this, Melanie, and I don't know what that's all about, so we'll get into it. And in addition to that, whatever you want to discuss here at 855-450-FREE like freedom. Plus, there's other Bitcoin-related news where, of course, the price has tumbled to where it was at around November, I guess.
Yeah.
So we'll tell you more about that coming up here in moments. But, Darryl, first and foremost, there apparently were some riots last night after the Super Bowl.
Oh, there were lots of riots, and not just in Philly, where people were celebrating because the Eagles wound up winning their first Super Bowl ever and their first NFL championship since before there was a Super Bowl.
Right, I remember when the college students here in Keene rioted when the Red Sox won. So apparently winning means you should destroy things.
Oh, and losing sometimes also means you destroy things, which is the story that I have about some students at UMass Amherst, where students took to the street shortly after the Patriots wound up losing the Super Bowl. Some of these students climbed trees and poles and were then throwing beer cans, firecrackers, glass bottles, and other things at students and others. 6 people total were arrested and a number of people were injured, with approximately 2,000 people being estimated to have congregated in the southwest residential area of campus, according to school officials. And now they have a photo, and all you see are people and a building on the side. And it's just people packed
shoulder to shoulder,
sometimes shoulder to chest, with people turned sideways, going all the way back. It's people.
And where was this?
UMass Amherst.
Okay. That's just south of here.
Not too far from here.
Yeah, like an hour or so.
Yeah, video, according to Nesson, which is the New England cable network, they say video shared by student journalists at the Massachusetts Daily Collegian showed large gatherings of people and police subduing and arresting several subjects. Police were also seen in riot gear as they attempted to get to the crowds, or rather to get the crowds to disperse. The school said people gathered on the Southwest Plaza shortly after the game ended. Amherst Fire Department ambulances transported 12 people for head injuries, lacerations, and alcohol intoxication. Surprise, surprise! Drunk people are doing stupid stuff.
I mean, if we were just allowed to hit people with cars who stood in the street and refused to move, I don't think people would keep standing in the street.
Well, I don't know if they were necessarily in the street. It says the Southwest Plaza. That could be a large section of campus where it's a sidewalk.
Right, you can't even see the street, right? Because
These
it's covered with people.
I have on this clip were standing in the street, and then some of them decided to tip over a car, so they were definitely in the street.
They did that in Keene during the Pumpkin Fest riots.
Yeah. Yep. UMass the college police said fights broke out shortly after the game ended, and the crowds threw objects and set off smoke bombs and firecrackers. Wait, I didn't think either of those things.
Which means that you planned to riot because you brought smoke bombs and firecrackers with you. This is not a poor decision you made.
That is not necessarily evidence of.
Hold on.
Yes, it is.
So
why are you bringing firecrackers to a football game?
Because you're excited and you want to celebrate.
They were not at the game. The game was being played in Minnesota.
It's not illegal to have. Well, it may be illegal in Massachusetts.
I think it is illegal in Massachusetts to have smoke bombs and firecrackers. You can't buy those things.
They have all those things by the border with masks that you can't. By the fireworks
state line fireworks.
But that doesn't mean that that means they were going to riot. It could just mean they were excited about being at a party.
Regardless of whether they were at the physical location of the Super Bowl, they were watching the Super Bowl, they're dressed in team jerseys, and they have on their person smoke bombs and firecrackers.
That is circumstantial evidence.
So, hold on. So if the team won, they were going to go celebrate and destroy stuff. If the
firecrackers
team lost,
don't always destroy things. They just make
but
popping
flipping
noises.
over cars and throwing glass bottles does.
I understand that, but having fireworks doesn't mean that you're intending to flip over cars and destroy things. Some people just use fireworks for fun.
I didn't say.
I know you didn't.
Not
she
in the middle of a crowd, they don't.
Do you know you're going to be in the middle of a crowd when you go to a party?
If you attend the Super Bowl, yes. Or if you attend a party,
they're not at the Super
you're going
Bowl.
to be in the middle of a
Right,
crowd.
they're in
you're
the
not
plaza
at the Super
with
Bowl
2,000 other people.
But you're at the Super Bowl party, the Super Bowl showing your whatever party it was. Even if it's not the in-person location, you're not like, oh, I'm going to be the only person here at this Super Bowl party.
No, you don't need to be the only person. I don't understand where you're coming from here. You don't need to be the only person at a party or in a place to light off firecrackers.
If you're the only person, there's not a party.
Right. If you have firecrackers, you light them off in the front yard or whatever. You're not going to throw it into a group of people. I mean, I don't understand why.
And what do you do with a smoke bomb?
Did you guys have firecrackers down in Louisiana? I mean, you're acting like these are the most dangerous things. You don't want to hold them in your hand, but otherwise, you light them, throw them,
so
they explode.
Not particularly dangerous, but you're bringing with you things that are.
They're party favors. I mean, you're talking about party favors. This is in the category of the beer that you bring with you as well. I mean, just because you bring beer with you doesn't mean you're going to go and riot.
But if a guy throws a beer bottle at something, that could possibly be a poor decision you made while drunk with something that was. And
people who are drunk will make poor decisions with firecrackers.
But you're still responsible for that because you're still, the person who's
hold on. So what she's saying is they intended to set off smoke bombs. They didn't just spontaneously decide.
Yeah, I know that.
We're driving across the border to buy these things.
Okay, but what she's saying is that it's evidence that they intended to riot. I don't know if you heard her say that earlier, but she said that was evidence that they intended to riot. And I'm saying
that's the prosecutor and her making
she's not a prosecutor though
to the judge.
And it's a crappy argument because plenty of people use fireworks at celebrations for celebratory purposes.
At their house, at an empty
You're likely
field.
going to someone's house.
they're on the college campus, which means they probably live in a dorm, which means that they're not at a house. They're at their dorm, which is their domicile, which is basically the same thing as a home. Continuing on with the article, again, UMass police said fights broke out shortly after the game. Some members of the crowd threw objects and set off smoke bombs and firecrackers. Police issued orders for the crowd to disperse before using pepper spray projectiles, i.e. they shot tear gas at people.
Pepper balls.
The area was cleared by 11:30. So this entire thing was about an hour and 15 minutes from start to finish.
Are like paintballs, but with pepper spray in them.
Massachusetts State Police and Amherst Police assisted the college police on the scene, with UMass Police saying they are proceeding with criminal charges and the university will initiate a quote-unquote prompt review of the matter and then wind up reviewing the student conduct.
Darryl,
so I wonder here if they're going to wind up suspending students who are identified as just being in the crowd.
I hope they do.
I don't know.
Right, but
if they're just in the crowd?
No, sorry, no.
You're just in the crowd.
I responded before you finished talking, and that's always a bad
thing.
thing.
And that's it. Because, we can't tell who threw the beer bottle or set off the smoke bomb, but you were in the vicinity, so therefore suspended, expelled, etc.
Darryl, you're a big sports fan. You watched the Super Bowl last night.
I did watch the game, and I watched a British version of the stream, which means I did not see any of the commercials. So if anybody has questions about the commercials...
You didn't see any of the British commercials?
But you didn't, tip over somebody else's car or destroy a gas station.
Right. I've
people
never done
on my
that.
feed did.
So what you're saying is you didn't see the American commercials, or
I
you
didn't see any commercials. So during the American commercial break, the British stream went to a group of British commentators discussing the game.
Really?
Yes.
So they didn't have any ads at all?
There were a couple of ads, but it was,
strange.
Watch Sky Sports.
Huh. More coming up here. If you want to join us, your comments on rioting.
The best part, though.
Why do people do this? Is it just drunken mayhem?
Because they can, and because no one hits them with their car.
450 free, 855-450-3733. I don't think violence is the solution.
Ike was such a sweet, lovable animal, and people would want to pet him, and they'd come up, and they'd get close to him, and it would be this instant, oh! My dad didn't want to touch him. It's like, ooh, get the stinky dog away from me.
Even after we'd give her a bath, she would still stink.
Very stinky, both bad breath and bad gas. I asked the vet, and he said some dogs are just stinky.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dinovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
The omega-3 fatty acids.
Flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa, the digestive enzymes that are cooked out of regular dog food. The ingredients convinced me that it was definitely worth trying. After about a week, he started smelling normal. My husband and I were really kind of astonished. Dinovite is nutrition.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
I got my Blink home security system delivered right to my door. I downloaded the app and it walked me right through the easy setup. Even with my complicated router system, I was done in like 10 minutes. Now it notifies me whenever something moves in front of the wireless cameras, or I can just check it whenever I want right from my phone. And I got you a deal. Get 3 Blink cams for what the other guys charge you for 1, plus an extra 10% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. 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 I've said it many times on air, and I'll say it here. The New Hampshire Liberty Alliance is one of the most important organizations for freedom in the world. New Hampshire is ground zero for freedom, and the NHLA is the best organization at promoting effective liberty activism. This ad is sponsored by Free Talk Live, and I, Mark Edge, am a lifetime member because I believe in the NHLA. Please check them out at nhliberty.org. Not everyone can move right now, but you can support the cause. Donate top cryptocurrencies or old-fashioned U.S. dollars, nhliberty.org. Visit their website and see what they're all about, nhliberty.org.
Free Talk Live, the show where anyone can call about whatever they want. And we do mean anyone.
So are you saying that if government ran a dating service, that society's problems would be solved?
Yes, actually they would. I know it's hard to believe, but it would.
Yeah, that's real hard to believe. I mean, there are dating services all over the place. Why would a government-run dating service be better?
No, they don't work. They're not Christian. They charge a lot of money.
What makes you think a government-run dating service would be better or Christian?
Yes, it would, because everybody would be in the same computer. Today it would be run by a computer. Everybody's knowledge of their existence and location would be in one place.
Let's say I disagree. What happens to me?
What happens if you disagree? Well, you can disagree, but does that mean you're not going to cooperate with us?
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know. Maybe I'd come over there and beat the hell out of you.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in Liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever you want here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. We're talking about Super Bowl rioting, or sports rioting in general, which seems to be a thing in large crowds. Why people riot when the team loses seems more understandable, but I still, of course, am against rioting. You're destroying property, unless you're destroying your own property. I mean, if you are at your house and you decide you want to bash a wall in, or you want to flip your own car upside down, then by all means, do whatever you want to your own stuff. But doing it to other people's things, not cool.
And if you're flipping a car, you want to find that fulcrum right in the middle and lift.
Why are you telling me
lift with the knees? All right, so I'll explain.
He's trying to help it so they don't get hurt.
Right, if they're flipping a car, then they should get hurt.
So.
And then maybe they won't do it again, whether it's because they decide not to or because they are too hurt to. I don't really care.
As you all know, I'm a sports fan. I like pro wrestling, and there's one of the wrestlers, Braun Strowman, who it's kind of his shtick to flip things over. And there was a video on the WWE YouTube channel where he's showing his female tag team partner for this thing they're doing called Mixed Match Challenge. He's showing his female tag team partner how to flip over a car, and he's instructing, you want to get there right in the middle and lift with your knees. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's really funny because she's 5 foot tall, and she can't flip over the car, and he's yelling at her. And
so before we go on, though, with more talk about Super Bowl and other sports rioting, did want to bring up Liberty.menu, which I'm pretty excited that we're partnering with here at Free Talk Live, because for a long time people have requested, people have asked for, they've wanted the idea of a libertarian business directory, a voluntarist, an anarcho-capitalist business directory, a place where people who love freedom can list their businesses and be seen by other people who love freedom. And this is an idea that has been thrown around for years and has been executed at times, but to lackluster results. And once Liberty.menu hit the scene last year, I said to Mark, look, this is the way to go. This is the best version of this concept that I have seen thus far, and it works really well. You can go over there right now. If you've got a business, if you've got a libertarian event, if you have a piece of media or something like that, like you've listed fpp.cc, your printing publication.
If you are a liberty-oriented group and you are having an event that is not necessarily a liberty-themed event,
just any old event,
put it on there.
Yeah.
I'm hosting a 1K run in December in northern Maine that I've posted on there.
Right. So anyway, go check it out. It is free to add items to this. In fact, you've added, what, a couple dozen?
I'm up over 30 ads.
And you're like the number 2 submitter right now.
No. I'm number
You're
one
number
now.
one now. Okay.
I passed the founder of the site.
Right. Wow. All right. So I'm in the top 10, but again, the site's brand new. I'm sure that we can be outdone by others. But at the very least, if you got 1 or 2 businesses, go up there, add them, and they'll show up on the map. It's easy to do. You can, of course, upgrade to certain bonuses if you want to pay for the ads. But it's
and then
free
you
to
get
use.
banners and other goodies.
So go to liberty.menu and check it out. I think you're going to be really impressed with it. I know I was. That's liberty.menu. As we go to your calls and thoughts here, Josh is in Lawrence, Alabama. Josh, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hey, how are y'all doing?
Hey, what's on your mind tonight?
I'm calling about sports fans. I'm a lifelong fan of the Alabama Crimson Tide, and we are
Roll
probably
Tide.
the craziest sporting fan base in the country.
Okay.
People take football real seriously. In Alabama, if you win a national championship, they make a 10-foot-tall bronze statue of you if you coach.
Yep.
People get wrapped up. It becomes your identity. I think a lot of people just lose control. That's why you have all that rioting. Plus, drunks don't really need much incitement to go burn stuff down to begin with.
Fair enough.
2 and 2 come together and you get what you had.
Yep, I see where you're coming from there.
Yeah, y'all not. Thank you.
That's all you got? All right, man. Hey, thanks, Josh. I appreciate hearing from you. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. Yeah, I mean, you're just talking about drunk people here going a little crazy, going a lot crazy in certain circumstances. The wisdom of crowds, if you will.
I kind of doubt that most of the people there, that was their first time drinking. So it's not like they didn't know how they act when they get drunk. I don't know why people are trying to justify this.
I've never flipped over a car when I'm drunk.
Right.
I'm not trying to justify it. I'm just saying it happened. That was why these people are upset that their team lost and they went out and did stupid stuff. Now, the Keynesians should be encouraging this to happen on a more regular basis.
Now, the Keynesians are who?
We're stimulating the people that believe that destroying property stimulates the economy, because now the guy
they believe in the broken window fallacy, where the idea is that if a window breaks, that the window or the glass manufacturer gets business, and the installer gets business.
Somebody had their car flipped over. They now have to go buy a new car, which means that a car salesman gets commission, which means that he can, pay his mortgage payment and put food on the table and buy his boy, some kind of toy or brand new shoes, which means that the shoe guy winds up making money. And it's a good thing to go out and destroy property. Now, then you mentioned the broken window fallacy, which was something written about by Frederick Bastiat, who says, well, then there's the unseen of, well, what would the guy whose window got broken have done had that money not had to be spent on buying a new window? He could have invested in his business. He could have done this, could have done that, and then
could have done something he liked to do.
Equally have stimulated the economy just on things that he wanted to do.
Yep, exactly. So, if you want to comment on the rioting, you're certainly welcome to do so. Darryl, you're a big sports fan. Have you ever come across a riot in real life? Like, have you ever gone to an event or?
I have not
seen anything like this.
Now, funny story. Not a riot, but I did think that I was near a drive-by one time.
A drive-by shooting?
Yes.
Okay. At a sports game?
A block away from the game, as I was going to the game. I did not realize that they were going to shoot fireworks before the game.
Right.
I parked at my great-grandmother's house, 1 block from the stadium in downtown Birmingham. Legion Field was the stadium where previous caller mentioned University of Alabama. That's where they used to play most of their home games. Not exactly the greatest neighborhood. And so I park, get out of my truck, and I start walking, and I hear what I thought were gunshots, so I dropped to the ground. And then I happened to look up and see fireworks exploding. Oh, okay, it's fireworks. Didn't know that was happening. Go to the game. And then after UAB, which was the team that happened to be playing that day, they scored a touchdown. Fireworks got shut off again. And there were a couple of guys walking through the tunnel about to take their seats. They also didn't know that it was fireworks. And the one guy reached into his jacket and... it's fireworks. And so I had to, calm that guy down before he grabbed something out of his jacket. So that's the closest to a riot that I've ever come.
The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom. I was nearby the riots, actually right in the riots during the Pumpkin Fest riots.
Oh, yeah, the Blumpkin riot.
In Keene, New Hampshire. There's plenty of video of that online. That was back in 2014 now. There's more coming up. You can take control of the airwaves here. 855-450-FREE like freedom. Let's talk immigrants coming up.
It's a no-brainer. A Big Berkey water filter is the one you need, period. You need a water filter that removes chlorine, fluoride, pharmaceuticals, BPA, and other endocrine disruptors, pesticides, bacteria, viruses, and much more, right? And does it all at only 2 cents per gallon. Get the original and most trusted name in gravity water filtration, Big Berkey. And now GCN listeners receive 5% off ceramic filter systems using code GCN. Call or click 1-877-99-BERKEY or BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it! You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way. You can't do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me. Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa, Hey, who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today.
You ain't going to make it.
Wait a minute.
Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable!
Why are you running from me? Because you're scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this?
If you're a
Democrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. Dial on in here, toll free to bring up whatever is on your mind. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Skype username is lrn.fm. Our Discord is available to you if you want to call in there. We've got an on-air call-in line room that you can join, and we'll put you on the radio. You'll sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio. Discord.lrn.fm will get you in there. In the studio with you, you've got Ian.
Melanie.
And Darryl.
So we were talking about the riots. I don't know if there's much else to say about that, but you're certainly welcome to comment if you feel inspired. But Darryl, you had something a little bit bigger to talk about tonight, which is immigration and crime rates.
Yeah, and just one more thing to mention about the rioting. I just came across an article, and I'm not going to read it, but the headline... article from Jack Hunter, who's a conservative, kind of libertarian-leaning headline, "Why isn't anyone calling the rioting Eagles fans thugs?" And he makes the comparison. Remember, over the last couple of years, there were the civil rights rallies in Ferguson and New York and Baltimore, and people jumped to throwing around the word thug because there were people out, protesting for civil rights. So he's asking, hey, why aren't these people that are rioting also being called thugs?
What's his speculation?
Well, I've not read the entire article. I've read the first
rich
two
white
sentences.
people get treated better than poor black people.
Are they rich white?
They're
definitely white.
They can afford football jerseys and to take off nights to go to football games. I mean...
Okay.
Well, it's a Sunday night. Most people that work 9 to 5 during the week aren't working Sunday nights.
Probably not.
So the statement that they had the time to watch a football game.
Okay, but a lot of people work 2 and 3 jobs or work at restaurants or whatever. They have the resources, and we're going to define rich very differently, but they have the resources to spend resources on going to a football game and spending time rioting, as opposed to somebody whose main concern in life is whether or not they're going to get shot by the cops for looking suspicious. Yeah, those are two very different situations to find yourself
You know
in.
what? Before we do go on here, I just looked at my notes here and I realized that you did say at the beginning of the first segment, Melanie, and I didn't bring it up in the second segment. You said something about running people down with a car or punching them in the face.
I didn't say punching them in the face. I said shooting them for...
Shooting them.
For tearing up the
Which
gas
is
station.
worse than punching them in the face.
It is.
Right. Okay, so you wanted to run down the people in the riot with a car. You think that'll solve the problem?
I think people would be less likely to do that if that was the response that they got
You
every
think
time
drunk
they did
people, I mean, you know a thing or two about being pretty drunk, right? Like you used to drink a lot in law school, from what I understand. So do you think somebody who's S-faced drunk is going to really be thinking about the consequences?
Okay, so first of all,
somebody might run me down?
Still some kind of really base... Not as good as, obviously, a sober, logical person, but there's still some kind of really base action, consequence, primal thing going on there still, especially if someone is currently trying to hit you with their car because you're standing in the street where you do not belong, then maybe you'll, I don't know, move out of the street. But also...
Okay, so hold on. Let's say that they do try to move out of the street, and the person driving the car then just swerves to make sure that they hit them. Who's at fault there?
Okay, that is not what I said to do, so...
What are you saying?
Well, you're saying you want to run people over that are standing in the street.
Okay, first of all, blocking the street is not safe. People have to go places.
I didn't say it was.
There are people who are like, my football game is more important than your ability to get to the hospital, to get to work, to get home from work, to get wherever you're... They're putting their football game above anywhere else that anybody has to be, whether they're going to die if they don't get there or not.
That doesn't mean they deserve to get run down.
The people standing in the street.
Yes,
it does.
This is pretty hardcore, man.
If you have sex with them, that might only encourage their bad behavior.
Okay, so there's a lot of legal precedent that says that word has multiple meanings. Also, if
is
you
there
look at the
legal
English
precedent to
language-
allow you to run down somebody in the street who hasn't actually done you any harm?
No,
or
but a lot
No,
of
there's
Republicans have tried introducing legislation to allow someone to run over anyone
Yeah,
standing
and if
in
you're
the street.
blocking a road, and these people have even. There are people who block roads. I don't think you should ever block a road unless you're providing emergency services or fixing the road that you're blocking.
I agree with you.
But
I don't think that people should be blocking the
if
road.
somebody says to me, I'm blocking the road because I have a much greater chance of being shot in the street by a cop for no reason, I don't think that blocking a road is really responsive to that, but that's a whole lot more sympathetic than I'm blocking the road because sports ball. Those are on two different planes of existence.
I get what you're saying, but I don't think any of that justifies running somebody over with a car.
Okay, so if
And I
somebody
don't
dies
think
because they can't get to the hospital, or their life is messed up because they can't get to work, or they don't get to sleep, they only get 4 hours of sleep that night because they can't get home from work, or any of the other things that can happen to you because some individual
I would say get out of your car and go and try to remove the person.
Start
in that case.
honking the horn. Hold on. Start honking the horn,
drunk
and
people, yeah.
hopefully they move out of the way. And when I hear "run them over with my car," what
sounds like Charlottesville.
Right, it sounds like just floor it and go 75 miles an hour, not go 3 miles an hour while honking
y'all are talking
the horn.
over top of one another, please. What was that, Darryl?
I said, I think what you're actually trying to say is slow down, honk your horn, and nudge them out of the way.
Is that what you're saying?
Because
that's not what I
at
heard.
75 miles an hour.
I don't think this is a 75-mile-an-hour driving zone.
She said run them down. She didn't say nudge them softly. She said
I was
run
just
them down.
hoping that's what she meant.
What are you
Darryl
advocating?
hopes that I mean things a lot of the time.
What is your violent fantasy here, Melanie?
That people will get out of the road so that other people can go to work, go home from work, go to the hospital,
they get out of the
go
road,
to the pharmacy.
Do they get out of the road while you're going 10 miles an hour honking the horn, or do they get out of the road when you put a cattle catcher on the front of your car?
I don't want to just copy-paste the speed limit, but what's a reasonable speed to drive in this road? If it's a residential area,
to barrel into people?
75, you shouldn't be doing that anyway.
What's
if
a reasonable speed to barrel into people? Is that what you're saying?
Okay, so if they then go
so
to
if
get
you've got
out
a
of the
Prius
way, then
and you
maybe
hit
slow
somebody
down.
at 15, the front end of your car's getting crunched anyway.
Yeah, so then it's a bad idea. That doesn't mean that they just deserve to stand in the road.
Yeah, okay. So is this the proportionality thing that you're into, or
I
disproportionality?
don't even think this is disproportional.
Where you advocate
You don't
for...
know where those people have to be. I don't think you can even say this is disproportional.
Wait, hold on.
You're
all right, are you saying
kidnapping
it's
people.
proportional?
Hold on, and how far does this go? So if somebody's being a little slow and crossing the crosswalk,
no,
you can just run over grandma?
Crossing the street is fundamentally different than intentionally
blocking the light turns green and grandma is still having a hard time getting across the crosswalk.
She's
you
not
run
blocking
over grandma?
the street. She's crossing the street. Those are two different things.
And she's in the middle of the
you
lane.
You know that those are two different things.
She's in the middle of the lane. You can't go, and you've got to get to work in 5 minutes.
You've got to go to the hospital. There's an old lady in your way. Why
She's
not
run over grandma? She deserved it.
Okay, because you're pretending that you don't understand the difference between crossing the road in a crosswalk and blocking a road because you think it's fun.
What if grandma has forgotten where she's going in the middle of the road and is just standing there? She doesn't know that she was going to the other side of the street.
You're telling me you can't tell the difference between an 80-year-old woman who needs help
and
a 20-year-old drunk, aggressive football fan?
Why would you treat the 80-year-old woman differently than the drunk person? I mean, they're both incapacitated.
Because one is intentionally incapacitated. You choose to be drunk. You don't choose to be old or whatever her medical issues are.
Let's go to your calls here. Oh, wow. All right, I didn't know that Melanie could crank it up from the cop violent stuff, but she's managed to tonight. Now just innocent drunks in the street.
Innocent people who are flipping over somebody else's car, which in a lot of areas, that's a death sentence. So that's attempted murder as far as I'm concerned.
No, you didn't say the people in the road had just flipped over a car in front of you. That could be considered a threat. I said some of them were flipping over cars. All right, let's talk to Trevor. He's in New Hampshire. You're on Free Talk Live, watching us on Twitch.
Hello?
Hey, Trevor, you're on the air.
Niggers.
Oh, you can't say that on the radio. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. He must think that we're just an internet show or something, and that you
I
can
told
say
you
that.
trolls live on Twitch.
Show that wouldn't even be appropriate.
All right, the toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. No, Darryl, it's not trolls live on Twitch. It's the internet, and we're actually being watched by people on Twitch, whereas we weren't on YouTube before, so that's why you're getting that. More coming up, because people are actually watching. Thanks, by the way.
They're
Does
trolls.
your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynovite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynovite.
Everything we tried failed except the Dynovite.
Pick up 2 bottles of Super Mega Fish Oil.
Get the 3rd bottle free. Packed with omega-3, DHA, and EPA fatty acids.
Super Mega is great for your dog's immune system, healthy skin, and soft, shiny fur.
Dogs love it. Try Super Omega Fish Oil.
Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $9.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
The 3 most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are 1. Share 1 episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. Of course, you're invited to join us on the radio waves here and take control of those airwaves. Toll free at 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We do have Skype at Skype username LRN.FM. And we've got our Discord, which I mentioned earlier. It is a chat room service. It's not just one chat room. There's several of them there. There's chat rooms for Free Talk Live and Call to Freedom, 2 of the live shows on LRN.FM. There are also rooms about gaming and cryptocurrencies and general discussion. There's also voice chat versions of all of those rooms, plus a special room for Free Talk Live amplifiers, Twitch subscribers, and LRN.FM Patreons. So please check out discord.lrn.fm. It's got to be probably the coolest new feature. People are actually using it, which is really nice. Now, there's also still the forum at forum.lrn.fm or forum.freetalklive.com. Either one of those works, and that'll get you over to a more organized discussion. But the Discord is just sort of a live chat, and it's there at all times. It is there 24 hours a day, and sometimes people are there in the middle of the night. You never know when, but certainly during our live shows, you'll find folks in the appropriate rooms and such. So go check it out. It's free at discord.lrn.fm. Whether it's rioting, blocking streets, running people over in cars, or immigration, which we've yet to talk about, we'll get to all of that here, or you can bring up whatever you want. Let's talk to James. He's listening in Louisiana. James, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead.
Yes, I just want to talk about these shippers and receivers that, they call for a truck to come get a load, and the load is not even ready. They have to produce it. So the truck driver gets there, he bumps the dock, or he's sitting out in the staging area waiting.
Yep.
And they keep him there. They keep him there 12 hours.
Wow.
And then they finally get him loaded.
Now, are you able to bill them while you're waiting?
No.
Ugh.
Truck driver's not able to bill them. No. Now some of the companies will charge a fee back to the shipper or receiver and pay their driver for sitting there, called detention time.
Right.
But that's very few companies do that.
Right, because every moment you're not on the road is a moment apparently that you're not making money.
Absolutely, and neither is the truck.
Right. How often is this happening to you when you're getting to a destination and they're just saying, hey, why don't you hang out for a while? We got to get the product ready.
Almost every place we go nowadays.
Jeez.
So I've got a question here, and I'm genuinely curious. Of these destinations where you've got to sit and wait, how many of those places have union workers, and how many don't have union workers?
Now that's a good question, because they have what's called a lumper, and the lumper is the one that unloads the truck. Now they do a fantastic job. Most of the time, you back up to the dock to get unloaded, and when it's your time to get unloaded, they will unload you. But then they have to have it wait for the guy that counts the merchandise to come and count it, and he's got several doors he's got to take care of. Okay, once he gets done counting, now we got to wait on the quality control guy to come and check the merchandise to see if it's acceptable to receive, and that's the guy that really causes the problem. He plays like God. He thinks that it don't matter. I don't care how long you've been sitting here. I'll get to you whenever I want.
That's frustrating.
Yeah.
That is definitely frustrating. Well, I want to say thank you for your service and providing, the grease for the wheels of the country to operate on. I appreciate you being out there on the road when you are.
Well, thank you, sir. I stay out about 3 months at a time.
Very good. Hey, James, have a safe trip tonight. I appreciate hearing from you. Anything else you want to share with our listeners?
Yeah, just one thing. I would be greatly appreciated, these truck drivers, if they would stop being lazy and take their pee bottles and their trash and put it in a trash can and not throw it out on other people's property.
It's good advice. James, thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate it. The pee bottles, I presume, are the bottles in which the truckers will urinate while driving so to avoid having to stop.
Yep, hence the term pee bottle.
Yeah. Imagine it's a little trickier for the female drivers, but they probably
have less of those.
Something
depends.
They do have them, but yeah, there are fewer, I think, of female drivers. The toll-free number here, 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. So back to our discussion where Melanie was advocating the running down of...
I don't know if I'm advocating it because
you were fantasizing about it.
Jail.
Yeah, that's right. You did say you wish you could.
It would be a good system.
You don't think you'd feel bad later on down the line after having murdered a person who was simply standing in the way?
I was a statist for like 26 years, and I don't stay awake at night thinking about all the people who I advocated bombing in the Middle East or all the people
but in this case, there's a difference between advocating for something and actually gunning the car engine and running into someone's then crippled, if not dead, body. You don't think that would maybe weigh on your conscience a little bit?
There shouldn't be a difference between that. I shouldn't feel any bad any worse for somebody who I see die than any of the people who got arrested for any of the laws that I used to advocate.
You're the one driving the car?
Those aren't morally distinct.
I think that there's a difference between the logical thing that you're saying and the reality of actually taking someone's life. Now, I say that without actually having done something like that, but I imagine people who've been in, say, the military or other circumstances in which they've had to or did choose to take somebody's life, regardless of whatever the circumstance was that surrounded that. As I understand it, that is a very life-changing circumstance, not just for the victim, but for the person who did the act, and it is something that you don't just live down because it's logically this or that. That's all I'm saying. If you want to comment, you're welcome to join us here. The number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. So, Darryl, let's move on to the immigration topic. Where was this coming from? What's the story?
Story from Reason.com. Just a couple of days ago, February 1st, and I'll just jump into the article. The author here writes, President Donald Trump never misses an opportunity to depict unauthorized immigrants, especially of Hispanic descent, as rapists and criminals. He did it again during his State of the Union address last Tuesday when he drew attention to 2 Long Island teenage girls killed by the El Salvadorian gang MS-13. Those deaths are tragic, but they don't say much one way or the other about the propensity of these immigrants to commit crimes. You wouldn't, however, know that from restrictionist pundits who are working overtime to sell the illegal immigrants or criminals narrative that a case in point...
technically, illegal immigrants are all criminals.
Everybody in the world is a criminal because everybody violates some kind of crime because there are just so many crimes.
So
that's why I'm proud to be an illegal.
That someone is a criminal is kind of a non-issue.
Right, but you know what they're trying to... The people on the right that say, we need to build a wall to keep out these people because they're coming over here and raping all the women and killing all the horses and doing all the drugs. They're criminals.
They're illegals.
They're not saying, oh, they crossed an imaginary border and they violated section blah-de-da of U.S. Code and I jaywalked and that's also a crime.
Right, yeah, they're trying to make them all sound, all immigrants, make them all sound
They did one
violent.
of them really bad crimes.
But I do agree that everybody's an illegal. I think that's, if you're going to use the term illegal to describe somebody who's violated some stupid government law, which is what immigration laws are, then I think everybody should embrace the term.
Yeah, I mean, most people are felons if you go by crimes actually committed and not convicted.
Well, again, yeah, you have to get convicted to be a felon.
The author here says a case in point is former U.S. Civil Rights Commission member Peter Kirsanow's recent piece in National Review purporting to show that these immigrants are more likely to commit crimes than native-born. But Kirsanow uses incomplete and cherry-picked data and makes rookie mistakes in interpreting it as well that eviscerate the credibility of his claim.
So he found some data that matched or tried to match it to his belief system,
He found some data and then cherry-picked that data to wind up matching what he wanted to purport.
I see.
The author here says that Kirsanow is correct that most of the disagreements over the criminality of undocumented immigrants could be resolved with better data, but that does not absolve us from accurately reading the data that we do have. Kursanau, however, does not. His entire case is based on a gross misreading of the 2011 Government Accountability Office report on the State Criminal Alien Assistance Program, also called SCAP, a federal program that partially reimburses states and localities for the cost of incarcerating certain criminal aliens. Keyword, certain criminal aliens. There's more.
All right, you can join us here if you want. The toll-free number is 855-450, free like freedom. Hour number 2 on the way. Plenty of time for you if you want to join us, whether it's about riots or whether it's about immigration or whatever's on your mind. 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
Does the current world crisis in North Korea or our domestic crisis right here in America concern you? Well, I know it concerns me. My friends over at Legacy Food Storage have solutions in the event there's the inevitable. What's the inevitable? Civil unrest, a run on your local grocery store. And here's my question to you. If this happens, how do you feed your children? How do you feed your grandchildren? Legacy Food Storage has the solutions. In fact, they can help you implement a simple plan to take care of your needs in the event of the inevitable. By calling them right now, I have authorized them to give you a special 20% discount at checkout by simply using GCN. Call 888-543-7345 or visit them at legacyfoodstorage.com. That's 888-543-7345 or visiting them at legacyfoodstorage.com. Make sure you use GCN at checkout for an incredible 20% discount. Don't be a victim. Take control of your life now.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Monday, February 5th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.87 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,337 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $32, and the average price of Bitcoin is $7,656. Antiwar.com reports Yemeni forces loyal to the Saudi Arabia-backed Hadi government are, if on top of the right mountain and at the right time of day, within visual range of the outskirts of the capital city of Sana'a. It may be as close as they ever get. The same closeness, after all, has been true for literally weeks on end, and with a mountain range in the way, 25 miles or so isn't exactly walking distance. This is doubly true because gains in the area have long since stopped. Hadi forces have been on the offensive for most of the war, but over the past week saw their own de facto capital city of Aden getting completely routed by a whole different faction of southern separatists, which likely changes their priority from offensive to defensive. Saudi officials are trying to resolve the differences between Hadi's allies and the secessionists, but either way, they probably aren't going to be in a position to commit a bunch of additional troops to attacking North Yemen, meaning the war is as stalemated as ever. Are you an advocate for free market money? Do you promote Bitcoin as an alternative in a fiat-centric world? Then you need Spend-A-Bit in your arsenal, the search engine for things you can buy with Bitcoin. Spend-A-Bit aggregates millions of products from thousands of Bitcoin-enabled merchants. Keep your money in the free economy. Visit spendabit.co. UPI reports a strong shallow earthquake struck the coast of Taiwan on Sunday evening. According to the U.S. Geological Survey, a magnitude 6.1 earthquake struck 21 kilometers north-northeast of Hualien, Taiwan. Reports suggest the earthquake could be felt in Taipei, the capital city of Taiwan. No casualties have yet been reported. Aftershocks with magnitudes between 4 and 5 went rumbling across the country throughout the evening. The epicenter of the original quake was traced to a depth of 12 kilometers. Taiwan News reported a total of 10 aftershocks were reported, with the largest being a magnitude 5.5. Several smaller earthquakes preceded Sunday's main quake. Taiwan is located on the Pacific Ring of Fire and routinely experiences relatively minor earthquakes. The country and its populous capital have, however, experienced larger deadly quakes in the past. A 7.6 magnitude earthquake hit Taiwan in 1999, killing more than 2,500 people. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports Amtrak blamed a freight train operator for causing a crash on Sunday that killed 2 people and injured more than 100 others when one of its passenger trains was diverted onto a side track and slammed into a parked unmanned freight train in South Carolina. In the U.S. passenger rail operator's third fatal crash in as many months, Amtrak Train 91, carrying 9 crew members and 136 passengers, was traveling from New York to Miami when it hit the CSX corporate freight train that was stopped on a side track or siding at about 2:35 a.m. Sunday morning. Amtrak President and Chief Executive Richard Anderson said CSX was responsible for the tracks and the signals, including one that had a lock attached to it, and diverted the Amtrak train onto the side track. He said in a statement CSX had lined and padlocked the switch off the main line to the siding, causing the collision. CSX did not address the comments by the Amtrak CEO, but said it was working with federal investigators. Both Amtrak and CSX offered their condolences to the families of the 2 people who died. Robert Sumwalt, chairman of the U.S. National Transportation Board, told a news conference the section of track was operated by CSX and there was a padlock on the switch that steered train traffic onto the siding. Amtrak engineer Michael Kempf of Savannah, Georgia, and conductor Michael Chella of Orange Park, Florida, were both killed. 2 of the 116 people injured were in critical condition after the wreck, which occurred about 5 miles southwest of the state capital of Columbia. Anderson said the passenger train hit the tail end of the CSX train. The NTSB said the CSX train had 2 locomotives and 34 empty auto racks used to transport cars. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
The Princeton Medical Institute has found that the most common deathbed regret, more than losing contact with family or spending too much time at the office, is never having sprayed a fire extinguisher all over the place.
Similar themes emerged in our interviews with dying patients. Some wished that they'd taken more risks. Others wished that they'd lived a life truer to their dreams. But almost every single person surveyed, regardless of their age or circumstance, said that their most significant regret was never having grabbed a fire extinguisher off a wall and blasted it around a room until it ran out of foam.
I've lived a good life. I was a nurse for 32 years. I have 3 beautiful children, but I've never smashed my elbow into a glass case, grabbed a fire extinguisher, and gone whoosh over everything.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. You can join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. It's 855-450-3733. We've got Skype. You can Skype in at Skype username LRN.FM. Here in the studio with you tonight, you've got Ian,
Melanie,
and Darryl.
We also have Discord. You can Discord in at the Discord call-in line. Check that out at discord.lrn.fm. Of course, you can bring up whatever's on your mind. We had just gotten into the topic, Darryl, that you brought in tonight which is about immigration and the fear-mongering that is out there, the biased fear-mongering that is apparently very easy to poke some holes into. Where was the story coming from that you were sharing?
This is coming from Reason.com.
All right, and so they looked at somebody who was making claims about immigrants and crime rates.
Yes, a former U.S. Civil Rights Commission member, Peter Kirsanow, who wrote a piece in National Review. And the author of this article at Reason is basically explaining why the article is bunk.
Okay.
Because, again, he selectively cherry-picked data from data that is admittedly incomplete. So he didn't have complete data to begin with.
Garbage from top to bottom.
That's what Reason is saying here. Yes. So one of the reports that was used was a 2011 Government Accountability Office report on the State Criminal Alien Assistance Program, also referred to as SCAP. The SCAP report shows that in 2009, there were 295,959 criminal aliens incarcerated in state and local prisons at any given time that year. From this number, Kirsanow, who's the guy making the report or the article that's being torn apart here, Kirsanow subtracts those in the country legally and assumes that the balance gives one the total number of undocumented immigrants being incarcerated during the year. He compares that number with the population of undocumented people in various states to estimate their crime rate. Then he compares that rate with the crime rate of citizens to come up with a massively inflated incarceration rate of undocumented aliens. But here's the problem. Kirsanow assumed, as some others before him with only a passing familiarity of the databases, that the 295,959 figure refers to the number of individuals incarcerated. It's not. It's actually the total number of incarcerations.
Meaning the same person could have been incarcerated more than once in a year.
Correct.
Which is how that usually works in general.
Right. And the author of this piece says if a criminal alien was incarcerated for 10 short sentences, released after each one, and then re-incarcerated, that single alien would account for 10 incarcerations under SCAP.
Got
it. But Kirsanow counts that as 10
people.
individuals. However, when it comes to estimating the incarceration rate of natives, Kirsanow compares the number of individuals incarcerated with the total population. This nonsensical apples to oranges comparison yields an exceedingly unfavorable incarceration rate for undocumented immigrants. Indeed, for 3 of the 5 states that were examined, the undocumented incarceration rate was 10 to 100 points higher than that of the native population.
According to his numbers.
According to Kirsanow, when more credible studies show that the reality may be closer to the opposite, meaning that natives commit crimes
more often
at higher rates.
That sounds familiar to me because years ago, I think the magazine was American Conservative, but I remember Mark brought in this, like an actual right-wing conservative magazine that did an honest look at the numbers when it came to immigrants or even just Hispanics and crime rate, and found that they're more likely to be not arrested than native-born populations.
Right. And also that's doubly true for quote-unquote violent crimes. Continuing here with the article from Reason, Kirsanow failed to appreciate that the purpose of the GAO report was to estimate the reimbursement that Uncle Sam owes to state and local governments for incarcerating criminal immigrants. Thus, the agency was only interested in the total number of incarcerations over the course of a year. They did not care to separate out the number of offenses from the number of offenders, which is why the GAO report is nearly worthless for any scholarly attempt to estimate the crime rate of undocumented immigrants. A quick look at the American Community Survey, or ACS, further confirms just how out of line Kirsanow's estimate actually is. The ACS is an annual mini census that, among other things, gathers information about prisoners in adult correctional facilities. It does not report on the broad legal status of immigrants, but does indicate whether the people incarcerated are American citizens or if they were immigrants from another country. And just something real quick to point out on this American Community Survey.
Yeah, that's the census thing.
That's not that's the yearly thing that they send randomly.
It's the census that does that, though.
Yeah, it's handled by the Census Bureau, and
It's
I know
not the decades one; it's the once a year.
Right. And there's a lot of people, especially more conservative, libertarian, conspiracy-minded individuals that think that like there's some nefarious reason for doing this, but it's really just to where government entities can try to have more accurate information instead of on a 10-year basis.
It may not be the intention of nefarious purposes, but we all know that the more data the government has on you, the more nefarious purposes they can exact. So while it may not have been the intention of the people who created the census, they didn't say, oh, we want this to be able to use to confiscate people's guns or something like that, or whatever the fear might be, or identify Japanese Americans and intern them, for instance. So, you look at the intentions behind a government program don't ever have anything to do with what that program ends up being used for in a lot of cases. The government program grows way beyond its original intentions. Like the census was every 10 years. Now it's once a year. And they're collecting more and more data and asking more and more invasive questions.
Not everybody gets the ACS survey. It's a very small percentage. And if
but
you
we
get
know
it,
people
you
who
can
have
just
gotten
drop it in the shredder.
I don't know that you can say that that's not the original intentions. I don't know how you would have any way of knowing what the original intentions are, because you're not going to tell the census workers, like, okay, this is seasonal work, a one-off thing. You're making $8 an hour or $20 an hour if it's, I guess if it's a government job. Not if it's a government job.
Yeah, they get paid pretty well.
Job. So I just want you to know, ground level people, that what we're doing is we're going to round up the Japanese people. We're going to take the guns. We're going to kill these other people.
Of course they're not going to say that.
They're not going to tell that. So the person knocking at your door probably doesn't know what it's for.
Of course not.
But the person who designed the program, we don't
They're
know
dead.
what they
those
wanted
people are gone. They're long gone.
Probably who they
were.
You
can know all those things, Melanie. You can go back and you can look at the records of the bureaucrats who passed a program or the politicians who spoke about an issue, and you can go back and you can see a lot of law was created from good intentions, but the road to hell is paved.
You can't see intentions from what someone said. Nobody's going to go up to the Senate and be like, yes, I'm Senator so-and-so from this state, and it is my intention to kill this
I understand what you're saying, but all that said, I think that most people who go into politics, I don't think they believe they're evil people. I think that they're people who want to try to help.
I don't think anybody believes they're an evil person no matter where they are on that spectrum.
Yeah, if your intention is to intern Japanese Americans, that's a pretty evil thing to do. I'm sure the people who were doing that thought they were doing the right thing, but it's not the right thing to do. Just what I'm saying is sometimes when you go back and you look at what the lawmakers say, because a lot of it is on the record when they pass laws, you can get a feel for what their intentions are. Now, what you're saying is
you can get a feel for what they said.
I understand that. What you're saying is that their intentions could be the opposite of what they're saying. There's no doubt about that. But I don't buy the idea that the census was originally created to intern Japanese Americans. That's something that they did later on.
That's a really specific thing, but it was intended to give the United States federal government more information.
Right, which is why I oppose it. But nonetheless, the toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom. I won't even tell them how many people are in there.
What do you think the U.S. government is going to do with information?
They're going to use it against you.
Yeah, and if you think anything else, you're kind of, have some issues.
I understand that. I'm just telling you that how a government program turns out doesn't have anything to do with the intentions of the people who created it, because they're not the ones who run it. They're not the ones who administer it later on. There's more coming up here in moments. It's Free Talk Live.
Thinking about getting into cryptocurrency but feel overwhelmed by the high price of Bitcoin? Or maybe you've used Bitcoin in the past, but were turned off by the high transaction fees and slow transfer times. It's time you looked into Dash. Dash is digital international money that you can send anywhere, anytime for less than a nickel. With Dash, your transactions can be instant and private. Dash offers a fully incentivized and decentralized peer-to-peer network where miners are rewarded for keeping the network fast, strong, and safe for its users. Start your journey at Dash.org. Since its launch in 2014, Dash has made a huge impact in the crypto world and is showing no signs of stopping. Check out Dash.org for more information about Dash and get in now on the future of cryptocurrency. Dash.org.
From the second letter of Captain Mark. Any pirate knows that commerce is communication. Markets condense oceans of information into a single price. Innovations in communication are circumventing the scrutiny of the crown. This signals a change in the coin of the realm. The crown uses digital currency to surveil, censor, seize, and destroy wealth at will, so pirate currency must protect us from this weaponized money. We need to move funds further, faster, cheaper, and without third-party observation, basing decisions on an accelerating flow of information. So pirates require nearly instantaneous transactions with no arbitrary limits on volume or artificial influences on fees. Most importantly, a pirate currency must preclude centralization. Otherwise, it will become another link in our chain to the crown. A superior currency will result in the obsolescence of the coin of the realm and the extinction of the crown itself. Trade above the grid. Join us at pirateswithoutborders.com.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447. Ross Ulbricht was convicted in early 2015 of running the infamous Silk Road Underground Market. The Silk Road was a gift to humanity and helped reduce the harms brought on by drug prohibition. For this good deed, Ross has been sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Now, an appeal is Ross's only chance, and he needs your support. Please visit freeross.org, where you can contribute via various methods, including Bitcoin. Visit freeross.org. That's freeross.org.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. Of course, you can bring up what you want right here. Our number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We do have Skype as well. The Skype username is LRN.FM. Here tonight, it's Ian,
Melanie,
and Darryl.
And don't forget, you can get interactive over at freetalklive.com. There are a lot of different ways to do that. Go check that out. Blink Home Security System can be yours. They're very affordable. You can get 3 Blink cams for what some of the other guys will probably charge you for 1 cam. And these are wireless, meaning that they're super easy to set up. You unbox the set. You put the batteries in that are included, and then you set up the cameras wherever you want them around your house. You plug in the one wire and the whole system. That's a power cable for the hub that they all connect through and to. And then ultimately you set it all up with your Wi-Fi-enabled device like a smartphone or a tablet. And when something goes in front of the cameras and triggers the motion detection during the time frames you specify, it sends that clip, which, again, you can select the length of the clip. sends it right to your device. That way you know what's going on wherever you are in the world. As long as you've got an internet connection, you can be aware of what's happening at your house or maybe small office. Go to blinkprotect.com/FTL. That's blinkprotect.com/FTL, like Free Talk Live. We've been talking about the story from Reason.com, Darryl, that you've been sharing about immigrants and crime rates. And, of course, a lot of times when you hear statistics and you don't actually check into the source, you might be misled. And in this case, there's a guy who published a story. Where was this Curacao guy, or whatever his name was?
Curacao. He published it in National Review.
Ah, okay. Very conservative magazine.
Is.
And Reason is basically picking it apart, saying this dude cherry-picked data from bad data in the first place.
Yes.
And ultimately, he was trying to make it look like immigrants were more likely to be criminals or violent criminals. And the reality is not the case.
Right. And let's dig a little bit further in this, where the author mentions a report from the American Community Survey, which the survey for 2008 reported there were 156,329 non-citizens incarcerated at the federal, state, or local level. This is only half, roughly, of the 296,959 incarcerations in the SCAP report from the GAO in state and local prisons, making it impossible for the 296,959 figure to be referring to the total number of criminal aliens incarcerated during the year. So if this guy would have just looked at another federal report, he would have seen that he was doing bad math. Curacao is merely an individual whose analysis can be discounted, but there's no discounting the alien incarceration report jointly released by the Department of Justice and Homeland Security in December. It, too, misrepresented data when it estimated 1 in 5 persons in the Federal Bureau of Prisons custody were foreign-born, and that 94% of confirmed aliens in custody were unlawfully present. That seems shockingly high, as undocumented immigrants are at most about 4% of the population. But if this report were right, they would be 19% of all prisoners. But the report had no solid basis for its conclusion because it did not have all of the prison data. The author says if you scroll beyond the report's press release and summary of findings, they admit as much. The report actually says this report does not include data on foreign-born or alien populations in state prisons and local jails because state and local facilities do not routinely provide DHS or DOJ with comprehensive information about their inmates and detainees. This limitation is noteworthy because state and local facilities account for approximately 90% of total U.S. incarcerations population. DHS and DOJ are working to develop a reliable methodology for estimating the status of state and local incarcerated populations in future reports.
So government agencies don't talk to one another very effectively.
Correct.
What do you know?
Continues, of course, that did not stop Fox News and other similar outfits from using it to peddle the illegal immigrants are hardened criminals.
It's ridiculous.
It's really important to bear in mind that the federal prison population is not representative of the incarcerated populations in state and local prisons. That's
Not at all.
because federal prisons house undocumented immigrants who commit immigration offenses. The ones who commit more serious
and drug
crimes,
offenses and other things, but yes.
Says the ones who commit more serious crimes tend to be housed in state facilities because they're being charged with state crimes.
Right.
You don't go to a federal prison for violating a state statute.
For robbery or whatever.
Now, if you wind up getting a federal drug trafficking charge, then yes, you will be in a federal prison. But, the run-of-the-mill guy that gets caught with a joint in his pocket, he's going to a county lockup.
That's right.
Only 85% of people who were convicted of murder were sentenced to federal prison in 2016, but the total number of murder convictions nationwide was 17,785. Clearly, only a small fraction of a percent of all the murderers are incarcerated in federal prisons, so most undocumented immigrants in these facilities are not hardened criminals. As Kirsanow acknowledged, the government doesn't keep good data on undocumented immigrant incarcerations in state correctional facilities, but the data we do have suggests they are actually much less crime-prone than native-born Americans. The Texas Tribune reported after examining data obtained from the Texas Department of Criminal Justice that undocumented immigrants are underrepresented in local jails. They are only 4.6% of the inmate population, while they make up 6.3% of the state's total population in Texas.
4.3% of inmate population we're talking about state facilities here?
In Texas, and it says local.
Okay.
Local jail, but I'm not sure if that means county plus municipal. I don't know how many municipalities in Texas have jails.
And it was as compared to, what was it, 6%?
6.3% of the state population.
Okay.
Going to page 2, some academic researchers have examined quasi-natural policy shifts to see how crime rates change due to more intense immigration enforcement. If undocumented immigrants are more crime-prone, then more aggressive immigration enforcement in an area should
reduce
lower crime rates. But they found no overall reduction.
No kidding.
This suggests, at a minimum, that undocumented immigrants' crime rate is no higher than that of the broader population. More recent research conducted by Michelangelo Landgrave and me, being the author, finds similar results. He writes, "We applied a statistical technique that is used to figure out the employment, age, and occupation of immigrants in the census to the incarcerated population data in the ACS. This allowed us to estimate the percentage of undocumented immigrants among those incarcerated. We found that even if one includes in the mix those in detention facilities, most whom are there for immigration-related offenses,
not real crimes,
undocumented immigrants are 44% less likely to be incarcerated than native-born Americans."
Repeat that last line.
44% less likely.
Undocumented immigrants are 44% less likely to be incarcerated than native-born Americans.
And
that's huge. That's huge.
Wait until I tell you what's next.
All right, we'll get into it here. Your calls and thoughts. These are the new scapegoats in society. There's a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
The answer to being in control of your own healthcare is freedom from insurance. Become part of a group of self-pay patients that come together to share in each other's medical expenses. Individual share amounts begin at $107 a month and $347 for families. Choose from 3 health sharing programs. Holistic treatments may be eligible for sharing. See guidelines. Discount programs available for dental, vision, and pharmacy. Go to libertyoncall.org. That's libertyoncall.org.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You may join us on the radio here. The number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And if you are somebody who pays taxes and you would like to pay fewer taxes, you would like to pay less in the amount that you previously paid, you want to keep as much as you possibly can, you want to hire the lady who wants to run down a bunch of people who are drunk in the streets. Yes, that's right, Melanie will do your taxes for you. She's a real anarchist, and she really hates the government and drunk rioters.
Can I get a tax deduction for adding a cattle catcher to my not a bus?
Does it have anything to do with the business?
I don't know. Is running over protesters a business?
No. And even if it was, it would be an illegal business.
Right, and so then I just wind up, however much money I make doing that, I add to line 21 of the 1040 that includes income from illegal activities.
Right, but that doesn't mean you get to deduct the expenses.
See, she knows what she's talking about,
of an illegal
Darryl.
business.
So,
but if you run a dispensary, you can deduct the weed that you buy because that's cost of goods sales, which is not an expense according to the IRS.
see, she's got it together. She knows what she's talking about. You can have her consult with you, have her take care of your taxes, whether you're an individual or a business. Get in touch with Melanie over at tax.freetalklive.com. It's not too late. People should be receiving their 1099s,
1099s, W-2s, K1s, whatever you got.
You get that paperwork from all the various different people that pay you and such. Once you get it all together, that's a good time to give Melanie a call right away and schedule an appointment to do whatever needs to be done, whatever kind of consulting you have to talk to them. I imagine ask them some questions about their situation.
Yeah, if you really just have papers that other people are sending you, then we don't really need to do consulting in any way.
Okay.
If you have a business, then that might take a couple days to, like at most, to get through.
All right.
Most people just need like the initial, okay, we're going to do your taxes now.
So Melanie can help you with that. And so maybe you've already got somebody who's doing that, or maybe you've been doing your taxes this whole time during your life and you're sick of it and you want to have a professional take care of it, but you want to have a professional that is a liberty-oriented person, and that is Melanie. You go to tax.freetalklive.com, and that'll take you right to her website. You've got more from this story, but hold on, Darryl. We're going to get to that next point because you said it's a big one. But first, we go to Will. He's in Dallas, Texas, and he's a listener via podcast. Will, what's on your mind tonight?
Hey, hope all's well.
Welcome.
In comment of her tax services, man, taxes are really complicated, and it's really... My dad has a business, and it's just crazy how much time he spends dealing with that crap.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and especially for some.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Especially for somebody who that's not their thing. Like if you told me, like, all right, once a year, go do your job for one day. Like, I'm probably not going to do it very well.
Right. I don't. If you're a business person, you didn't get into business to do taxes. You got into business to provide a product or a service to the marketplace, and the last thing you want to do is pour over government paperwork and endless instruction forms and forms beyond belief. So yeah, go ahead, Will.
Yeah. He even has a hired accountant for a long time, and it's just he still spends thousands of dollars for her and hundreds of hours dealing with it. Yep. But anyway, my question was, like here in the Dallas area, they say we've had 5 or 10 deaths from the flu or whatever. I know Mark's feelings on the flu vaccine, that it makes him definitely sick. But anyway, every time I try to look it up, like, who died, were they vaccinated and all that, you always end up getting. I understand not getting the information of what happened just recently, a month ago or 2 months ago or something like that, as far as the deaths. But I'd like to know the deaths of people that were vaccinated and got.
Well, and some of that is information that I don't know if you can ever wind up getting because of HIPAA.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah, so like your medical records don't become public once you die. So, or at least I
support that.
Yeah,
I get that part of it, but it seems that there's always a CDC tracking of, people who died, that fill in the blank, and all that. And one of the things that's always kind of hard to get to is like people who died of the flu, how many were vaccinated that died of it.
How that usually works is if there's enough of people for it to get a good statistic from, and they're like, okay, so 8 million people died of this and 12% were X. They'll release that, but when the numbers are so small that they're kind of afraid that if they release the numbers, that people will be identifiable. So if it's like, 10 people died and 8 were vaccinated and 2 weren't, it might not be that difficult to figure out who those people were. And so those are the kinds of things they're not typically going to release. And I really kind of do, there's all kinds of stuff to hate the CDC for, but I really do think that that's a reasonable position.
No, and that's a good reason, and that's the best reason or excuse, or whatever you want to call it. That's what I've heard, and I appreciate that.
Very good,
and
Will.
I don't know the answer. I'm just so suspicious about this whole vaccine. And
I'm suspicious as well. I'm very suspicious. Anything that says to people, line up like cattle and receive this vaccination, I don't know, man. Does anybody in here take that flu shot?
I had it one time, and that was the one time I wound up getting the flu.
You said you do, Will?
No, I do. Well, I used to. I have not in 2 or 3 years, and anyway, I've got my own results. Correlation is not causation, but
Sure, no doubt.
I haven't. Things that I can die from, I get vaccines for.
You can die from the flu.
So
right?
automobile?
Yeah, but okay. Well, they don't have. If they had a available
what
automobile vaccine,
what if there was a vaccine to protect you from chemtrails?
Well, since chemtrails aren't real.
Oh, man, I'm into it.
Total fantasy.
I'm kidding, but I'm kidding, but I do believe it. It's not like I don't believe in vaccines at all. But I think.
Oh, I believe they exist.
Really, the flu is the only thing that I'm kind of like that's weird on, because I'm taking a pharmaceutical for something that. Unless you have something else going on, it's not going to kill you. So, that doesn't make sense. Polio is going to kill you. There's a lot of diseases that are MMR or whatever it's called. That will, seriously mess you up. So, yes, get a vaccine for that. But,
yes, that's
the flu, I don't know. That just doesn't really...
Now, here's an interesting question. Here's an interesting question. Since so many vaccines are now... at least for if you want to attend school, whether it be a public school, a private school, etc., and the government knows about it, you have to have received fill-in-the-blank vaccinations. How long is it going to be before they say, in order for you to get a state-approved graduation
driver's license
document, you have to get your
They don't
flu
have the
shot.
same argument there. So... if they're putting you in a large group of people, first of all, like, so when I went to undergrad, they made me sign a thing that I promised not to come to class if there was a polio outbreak. And even though
people think about that, people think that way, though. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but people really do kind of think the way what he's talking about, where you have to have I'm sorry to interrupt, but you have to have your vaccines to get, what your degree or your diploma, or like somebody else brought up, the driver license or whatever. It just seems like it could go that route.
Can't renew your passport.
Right, but when they give you a driver's license, they're not putting you in a building with a whole bunch of other people, so they don't really have that same argument
No,
of,
you've got to go to a building with a bunch of other people to renew your driver's license.
Will, thanks for the call, man. Appreciate it.
To walk into the door.
Toll-free number tonight, if you want to join us, is 855-450-FREE. Let's go to Ricky in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania on Skype. Hello, Ricky.
Thank you there, Brother. Good evening, Miss Melanie, Brother Darryl.
What's on your mind tonight?
Well, I just heard you talking about those vaccines. A quick little comment. And then I got a very interesting thing what Ricky's been doing the past couple of days now. The vaccines, I don't take them. And they're a nice idea, okay, in principle, in theory, but in reality, yeah, they're more destructive than they're positive. It's not like it's a conspiracy. It's just a dumb idea. Now think about this. Adolf Hitler, it's funny because he had a real big problem with the Jewish people. But see, the reality
He had a problem with a lot of people, but yes, certainly Jews bear the brunt of it.
And you know what? Adolf Hitler really loved his mama. And what happened is, his mama had the flu, and he had a doctor come in, and the doctor was there. She was only like 10 years old. And what happened is she died from the flu. You know what I mean? And he blamed the doctor, and he happened to be Jewish,
Well, that's what happens when you're an angry person. You always got to find somebody to blame. Thanks for the call tonight. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE, whether it be the Jews or the immigrants or the whatever the next group that is supposed to be the scapegoat for all the world's problems or the country's problems. We'll continue. More coming up. Free Talk Live. Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core wallet that allows you to send and receive either currency with anyone, anywhere in the world. Download the Bitcoin.com wallet for easy and secure access to your Bitcoin Cash. It's perfect for beginners, and the Bitcoin.com wallet makes using and holding Bitcoins easy. No logins are required. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available for Android, iOS, Windows, Mac, and even Linux. Learn more at Bitcoin.com.
It's a no-brainer. A Big Berkey water filter is the one you need, period. You need a water filter that removes chlorine, fluoride, pharmaceuticals, BPA, and other endocrine disruptors, pesticides, bacteria, viruses, and much more, right? And does it all at only 2 cents per gallon. Get the original and most trusted name in gravity water filtration, Big Berkey. And now GCN listeners receive 5% off ceramic filter systems using code GCN. Call or click 1-877-99-BERKEY or BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY.
Hawaii was a wake-up call. Don't be caught without a disaster shelter. Atlas makes an all-disaster shelter that will protect your family from fallout, tornadoes, and hurricanes for only $99.99. That also includes the NBC air filtration system, solid steel construction with an airtight, bulletproof door. That's right, for $99.99 and up. Call 1-855-4BUNKER or go to iwantthatshelter.com. Atlas Survival Shelters, the world leader in fallout shelters.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Free Talk Live, you may dial in, toll free to join us here. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got Skype as well, and the Skype username here is LRN.FM, so feel free to reach out to us there. Also, our Discord on-air call-in line is available to you at discord.lrn.fm. And don't forget to check us out over at the AMP program. If you like what we do on Free Talk Live, then please AMP the show. AMP stands for Advertise, Market, and Promote. Look, it costs money to get Free Talk Live on more radio stations. We've got 175 radio stations, and I think that's close to a record high for Free Talk Live. I don't know if we've ever eclipsed 180. So we're doing very, very well, and it takes time, it takes money to market, to advertise, to promote Free Talk Live, and get new stations on board. I'm expecting to announce a couple new stations in Tennessee this week, a couple big Cumulus radio stations. I can't officially say which ones yet, but I'm excited about that. So we've always got new ones coming on board, and that's thanks to the efforts of the affiliate relations here at Free Talk Live. And Darryl, you do a bulk of that work. I do some of it as well, but it takes the physical phone calling of program directors to introduce them to the program, to get them to hopefully eventually say yes, as over 100 and something, 170 or whatever affiliates have come on board. So if you want to help us with that and get cool perks like access to the AMP-only call-in lines, the AMP-only Facebook group, the AMP-only Discord chats, that's the newest perk that we have for amplifiers. You go to amp.freetalklive.com and you can get signed up there for $5 a month with PayPal. You can use credit card. You can use Bitcoin Core, which is actually below $5 for a fee these days. So maybe we'll actually have somebody use Bitcoin Core again. Meantime, go to amp.freetalklive.com to get signed up. However it is you want to support us. We've had the AMP numbers over the years have dwindled due to, people, they got other things they want to spend their money on. Yep. They got to cut the budget back, get fired from a job, that kind of thing. So we could use your help now more than ever at the AMP program. And there's now more perks than there have ever been over at amp.freetalklive.com. As we continue here, of course, you can take you can take us wherever you want as far as topics are concerned. But Darryl, you've been discussing the immigration statistics and the just absolute false statistics that are out there, the things that are created from thin air, basically, or hacked together from very inappropriately gathered data in the first place.
From incomplete data. Yeah. So let me jump back a little bit, because it's been a while since we were at the beginning of this article from Reason.com, tearing apart a piece by Peter Kirsanow in National Review, who looked at a report, the State Criminal Alien Assistance Program report from the Government Accountability Office, showing that in 2009 there were 295,959 criminal aliens incarcerated in state and local prisons at some point. Now, as was pointed out further down in this article, that means that if one person was incarcerated 3 times, they count in that SCAP report as 3 incarcerations.
Right.
That 200, I'm just going to say 297,000 figure is almost double what the American Community Survey report shows of 156,329 non-citizens, meaning both legal and undocumented immigrants that were incarcerated at some point in federal, state, and local facilities.
So what you're saying is, was the 297,000 only supposed to be federal?
No, the 297 was state and local.
State and local.
Because it was based on a reimbursement that the feds give for housing criminal aliens.
So that 297,000 was supposed to be state and local imprisoned immigrants,
Total
right?
incarcerations. That the author of the report from National Review says, so that means there were 297,000 immigrants that were in jail.
Because he's counting people more than once in there, and as you said, the numbers that total all state, federal, and local incarcerations for immigrants, which include legal ones, you're saying, is less than half of that, basically.
Correct. And now jumping over towards the end of this article, the author of the article, along with Michelangelo Landgrave, did some researching, and they applied a statistical technique that is used to figure out the employment, age, and occupation of immigrants in that ACS survey, the American Community Survey. This allowed us to estimate the percentage of undocumented immigrants among those incarcerated. We found that even if you include those in federal detention facilities, which are included in that 156,000, then undocumented immigrants are 44% less likely to be incarcerated than native-born Americans. If you exclude those from federal detention centers, meaning they're in federal custody but not in a federal prison, then it's actually 69% less likely that an undocumented immigrant is going to commit a crime than someone who was born and raised in the United States.
And let's talk about the sort of the larger picture here, which is that immigrants are the current scapegoat. They're the current blame this group. Whether it's in the past, it's been other scapegoats.
Now, before you make that point, let me read the final 2 sentences of this piece. The author says, restrictionists want the public to believe that undocumented immigrants are criminals in order to justify harsh enforcement policies and crackdowns. But before America goes down this draconian path, it's vital that it gets the facts straight. Taking amateur analysis or government spin at face value will hurt peaceful and hardworking immigrants without making America safer.
Right, and it hurts them by people looking at them with suspicion, by people when they see somebody whose skin color is different, they see a brown person, they jump to a conclusion.
Did you see the headline about the Navajo congressman that was threatened with deportation? You need to get out of this country and go back where you came from, or we're going to deport you. Oh, you mean the Navajo reservation?
Because he was brown, and the person couldn't tell the difference.
Brown person in Arizona.
Right.
You go back where you came from, crossing border.
It's this blaming of
go back
groups.
to Russia.
It's the blaming of groups. It is, the groupthink, the mentality, the collectivist mentality to say that a certain group is a certain way, and that's a bad thing. Now, of course, as you've pointed out here, that group isn't the certain way. It is not the criminal way that people want you to believe about immigrants. But obviously, there are criminals within immigrant groups, just like there are criminals within native groups.
Right, and how many stories do we have to read about Florida Man before I just wind up saying that you and Mark wind up needing to go back where you came from, and I take over the show?
Because all Florida people are bad or something like that.
Florida Man tried to kidnap Lana Del Rey.
Is that right?
She's some musician.
She's a singer, right?
Yeah.
Did that
Florida
happen?
Man did it. Yeah. Headline on, Google and whatnot.
Now, I mean,
Florida Man.
The Florida Man thing is funny because most people don't take that seriously, right? I don't think they take that seriously. They're not out lynching Florida men or whatever. That hasn't happened. But ultimately, the people that look at immigrants as a problem they want to blame somebody for the problems in society, and it's convenient.
It's the weird stereotype sort of thing of, oh, this person who fits in Group A did X, so therefore everybody in Group A is X.
Or they're more likely to be X or dangerous.
So
or look at them with
therefore, we just
suspicion.
need to keep everybody from Group A out of the country because X.
It's crazy. I mean,
instead of everybody's an individual, judge them accordingly.
I mean, how is this really any different from the Red Scare, right? I mean, it was the commies previously. It's the immigrants
because
now.
Communism is a behavior, whereas having been born in Mexico
Well,
isn't.
no, you're
It's
being accused of being. If somebody accuses you of being a communist and starts to treat you as though you're a communist because they heard somewhere that Melanie was a communist, that doesn't have anything to do with
have you ever been a member of the Communist Party?
Yeah, that doesn't have anything to do with your actual behavior.
But that's still an actual allegation. If I say you committed X behavior, whether it's true or not,
You're an immigrant is an allegation as well.
You're
Prove it.
accused of being Mexican. Prove you're not.
Yeah, you.
Right. So that's a I mean, it's something that you can do to harm someone, but it's a non-allegation. It's not.
Yeah, and it would harm you.
You as a person.
It would harm your reputation if somebody went around saying that you were a communist, right? Because you're not.
It would mostly be funny, but I'm kind of in a quasi-unique situation there where I can prove that I'm not, whereas most people.
Yeah, but most people aren't
can't.
going to give you the chance to prove it. They're just going to. Somebody told me Melanie was a communist.
Yeah, then I'm just going to make fun of them for not being able to use Google.
You're accused
But
of being
yeah,
a witch.
most people, you can't Google their political beliefs.
If you float, then you're a witch and we burn you. And if you sink, you're not a witch, but you've already drowned.
You could be secretly a communist. There were plenty of secret communists back when people were trying to ferret them out. That's why they were being ferreted out. The toll-free number here is 855-453.
didn't go on anarchist shows.
855-450-3733. You could just be deep cover.
Are
More
you
coming
a ferret?
up. This is Free Talk Live, Hour 3 on the way.
Non-attorney paid spokesperson. Could your house go into foreclosure? Are you behind on your mortgage payments? Does it seem like the bank has no interest in helping you save your home? And you feel like you have nowhere to turn for help? Then we have good news for you. Foreclosure Protection Services can help save your home as they specialize in foreclosure assistance. That's all they do. If you're behind on your mortgage payments, being threatened with foreclosure, have been denied a loan modification, or been the victim of a predatory loan, it's critical that you call Foreclosure Protection Services now at 800-667-9035. Their network of attorneys and their agents are available to speak to you now. If you're behind on your mortgage payments, Foreclosure Protection Services can help stop the foreclosure process. Call today before it's too late. New laws are in effect that may save your home. Call Foreclosure Protection Services now at 800-667-9035. 800-667-9035. That's 800-667-9035.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene, the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Monday, February 5th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.87 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,337 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $32, and the average price of Bitcoin is $7,656. Antiwar.com reports Yemeni forces loyal to the Saudi Arabia-backed Hadi government are, if on top of the right mountain and at the right time of day, within visual range of the outskirts of the capital city of Sana'a. It may be as close as they ever get. The same closeness, after all, has been true for literally weeks on end, and with a mountain range in the way, 25 miles or so isn't exactly walking distance. This is doubly true because gains in the area have long since stopped. Hadi forces have been on the offensive for most of the war, but over the past week saw their own de facto capital city of Aden getting completely routed by a whole different faction of southern separatists, which likely changes their priority from offensive to defensive. Saudi officials are trying to resolve the differences between Hadi's allies and the secessionists, but either way, they probably aren't going to be in a position to commit a bunch of additional troops to attacking North Yemen, meaning the war is as stalemated as ever. Are you an advocate for free market money? Do you promote Bitcoin as an alternative in a fiat-centric world? Then you need Spend a Bit in your arsenal, the search engine for things you can buy with Bitcoin. Spend a Bit aggregates millions of products from thousands of Bitcoin-enabled merchants. Keep your money in the free economy. Visit spendabit.co. UPI reports a strong shallow earthquake struck the coast of Taiwan on Sunday evening. According to the U.S. Geological Survey, a magnitude 6.1 earthquake struck 21 kilometers north-northeast of Hualien, Taiwan. Reports suggest the earthquake could be felt in Taipei, the capital city of Taiwan. No casualties have yet been reported. Aftershocks with magnitudes between 4 and 5 went rumbling across the country throughout the evening. The epicenter of the original quake was traced to a depth of 12 kilometers. Taiwan News reported a total of 10 aftershocks were reported, with the largest being a magnitude 5.5. Several smaller earthquakes preceded Sunday's main quake. Taiwan is located on the Pacific Ring of Fire and routinely experiences relatively minor earthquakes. The country and its populous capital have, however, experienced larger deadly quakes in the past. A 7.6 magnitude earthquake hit Taiwan in 1999, killing more than 2,500 people. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports Amtrak blamed a freight train operator for causing a crash on Sunday that killed 2 people and injured more than 100 others when one of its passenger trains was diverted onto a side track and slammed into a parked unmanned freight train in South Carolina. In the U.S. passenger rail operator's third fatal crash in as many months, Amtrak Train 91, carrying 9 crew members and 136 passengers, was traveling from New York to Miami when it hit the CSX corporate freight train that was stopped on a side track or siding at about 2:35 a.m. Sunday morning. Amtrak President and Chief Executive Richard Anderson said CSX was responsible for the tracks and the signals, including one that had a lock attached to it and diverted the Amtrak train onto the side track. He said in a statement CSX had lined and padlocked the switch off the main line to the siding, causing the collision. CSX did not address the comments by the Amtrak CEO, but said it was working with federal investigators. Both Amtrak and CSX offered their condolences to the families of the 2 people who died. Robert Sumwalt, chairman of the U.S. National Transportation Board, told a news conference the section of track was operated by CSX and there was a padlock on the switch that steered train traffic onto the siding. Amtrak engineer Michael Kemp of Savannah, Georgia, and conductor Michael Chella of Orange Park, Florida, were both killed. 2 of the 116 people injured were in critical condition after the wreck, which occurred about 5 miles southwest of the state capital of Columbia. Anderson said the passenger train hit the tail end of the CSX train. The NTSB said the CSX train had 2 locomotives and 34 empty auto racks used to transport cars. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
This is the Onion Week in Review. A study published Friday by the University of Minnesota found that mosquitoes have no physiological reason for biting humans, with researchers noting that the insects feed exclusively on pollen and seemingly only suck human blood out of spite.
According to our findings, mosquitoes usually spit out the blood after a bite. They just really enjoy ruining outdoor activities and spreading deadly diseases.
Researchers added that mosquitoes often bite a variety of vertebrates besides humans, including baby pandas, koala bears, and very small puppies, all for fun. And in tech news, a new Visa talking credit card urges buyers to go for it.
Come on, buy it. You know you want it.
In other news, the utterance of a secret password grants customers access to a long-rumored 18-inch Subway sandwich. It's easy to tell what an area man would look like as a skeleton, and a longtime teacher retires without changing a single student's life. This week's scheduled interview with the surly and forlorn Matthew Modine was cut for time and is doomed to never be seen. For more, visit theonion.com/newsbeat.
Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live, and of course, you can bring up whatever you want. Just dial in toll-free and join us here. Our number is 855-450, free like freedom. It's 855-450-3733. We've got Skype as well. The Skype username here is lrn.fm, and you can join us over Discord at discord.lrn.fm. Here in the studio with you tonight, it's Ian.
Melanie.
And Darryl.
As we continue here, Melanie, you had actually had a request, I guess, online from some listener to talk about Bitcoin and the Bitcoin price, which as of today had fallen, I think, was it below $7,000 at one point today? Has definitely been skirting with the $6,000 range as it's been on a huge drop over the last month or so, coming down from as high as about $19,000 to $20,000 US dollars per Bitcoin. As I said, right now at around a third of that, at about $6,000 or $7,000 per Bitcoin. And a lot of people are, I think, legitimately concerned about this, especially people who are new to cryptocurrency, and especially the people who bought when it was, $15,000, who are now seeing their holdings half in value. So that can be pretty frustrating, and as they were pointing out this afternoon on LRN.FM on the Call to Freedom, those of us who've been around cryptocurrency for a while, we know these things have happened before. I know. The high of 20,000 didn't happen before. That happened for the first time in December, so that specific thing hasn't happened before, but the drops, the dramatic drops, have happened before, and it's important to keep in mind perspective on this. Now, there's no guarantee that it's going to come back. Obviously, we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. But if past performance is any indicator, and it may not be, mind you, I'm not an investment advisor or anything like that. This is just my observations of the Bitcoin price over time. If past performance is any indicator, then just take it easy. Just chill out. Don't freak out. Don't sell whatever. If you bought something at, $15,000 and you sold it at $7,000, well, you lost. But if you hold on, which is what many of us have done over the years, is just hold on to the Bitcoin, to the cryptocurrency, whatever it is, because almost all of them are down, and right, down significantly. The entire cryptocurrency marketplace is down across the board.
But so are stocks, and that's something that a lot of people seem to be glossing over. They're like, see, look at that Bitcoin, it's down. Yeah, but the Dow Jones Industrial Average has lost more in the last 2 days than any other 2-day period throughout history.
Yeah, I saw that headline at Drudge, and I thought that was an interesting coincidence. I wonder if that is just a coincidence or if there's some sort of geographic event that has happened. Did the dollar all of a sudden get stronger? I mean, that doesn't make any sense. So, why is it that they would both go down at the same time? They don't necessarily track one another, so that's, you can't compare those two at any other time.
They might contain a lot of the same stocks, though.
Bitcoins aren't stocks.
Right.
No, she's saying the Dow Jones.
Right, you're saying the Dow Jones went down, Bitcoin and cryptocurrency went down.
Okay,
You were bringing up the fact that Dow Jones went down and Bitcoin has also gone down. I'm simply
Gold
pointing
and
out
silver, basically all commodities and stocks are going down right now.
Why is that, though? I mean, I'm not asking you because you know, but I'm just asking.
I'm not a financial person, so any answer I give is pure speculation.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily asking you.
Well, Mark Edge had a really good thought during our social Sunday yesterday. To where he was saying that because the Bitcoin future things got rolled out a couple months ago and people could sort of speculate of, oh, well, because I'm buying a future of what the price is going to be in 3 months, I can buy it at 10,000 and then manipulate the price to where it winds up hitting there. And then, like you've got all kinds of smart people that do all of these weird shady things to where they manipulate prices of stuff. I don't know if that's happening. It might be. There's also speculation that because Chinese New Year is coming up in a couple of weeks, people are winding up, trying to cash out of things and liquidate so that they've got money for the big party.
They say that happens every year. John McAfee posted on his Twitter today, I happened to see this, where he showed the charts from like the last 4 years that showed the price of Bitcoin going down in this time frame, and then over time going back up later in the year. And so that's what I'm saying. Just my recommendation, not an investment advisor. This is just what I'm doing. So take that as you may. Is I will be holding on to the Shire Free Church's cryptocurrency. I was tempted, like when it started to go down. I'm like, oh crap, should I sell some of this? And I thought, no, we've got enough dollar funds right now. Let's just hold off and wait and see what happens. This has happened before. These kind of drops, because remember, you go all the way back to 2013. At the very end of 2013, if you look at a long graph of Bitcoin's price over the years, you'll see there's like a little. If you compare it to today, you'll see there's like a little bump in 2013. And if you go back and you zoom in on that little bump, you'll see that you can see the perspective of what it was like in 2013, where there was this big run-up towards the end of the year. Big run-up to around $1,100, which at that time was a record high and a major record high for the price of Bitcoin. And then the tumble, which took a few months, if not several months, to go down from $1,100 to at about $250 per Bitcoin. And now we see a huge drop once again from at around $19,000 to today, where we're at several weeks after that peak. We are at about 7,000. I don't have it in front of me, Darryl. What was it this morning when you did your news?
About 76.
Yes, it's come down, I think, a little bit since then, because I think I saw it at around 7,000 earlier today.
And I'm pulling up Bitcoin average right now. It's going to take just a second to load, and I can give you a current price.
So the first, big drop was from 1,100 to about 250, and now we're floating at about 7,000 from about 19,000. This is a huge drop.
65 right now.
So down even further now.
Yes.
6,500 dollars. Now, again, keep it in perspective. If you look at the price of Bitcoin over the last just 3 months, you'll find that 6,500 was the price of Bitcoin, in November? Sometime in November?
Yep, early November.
Right. So, that's how far it's fallen. We're still way above where Bitcoin was a year ago. A year ago, Bitcoin was at about 1,600 or so U.S. dollars per Bitcoin. So you're still talking about multiples of what it was a year ago. So do keep it in perspective. This isn't the end of the world. Cryptocurrency is still in its incipient stages. This is still a concept that for most people, it's brand new. They don't know what cryptocurrency is. They don't know where to begin with it. They don't know.
You probably shouldn't invest in assets if you don't know what they are.
That's good advice.
But not everybody that has some Bitcoin has invested in Bitcoin. So there's a difference between having something and having it as an investment.
Right, yeah, okay.
I have small amounts of gold and silver. I'm not investing in gold and silver. I just have some.
Are you trading in gold and silver? Because it's kind of the dichotomy.
It's an investment
I
in gold and silver.
did not necessarily buy it for the purpose of I'm going to retire off of this.
You don't have to
it
buy.
Doesn't make it not an investment.
Yeah, I agree with Melanie. It's an investment because you have the chance of gaining and the chance of losing.
You're not using it as a consumable good. You're not using it as a product. You're not using it as a currency. So
if you're sitting on
I have used it as currency.
Yeah, but pretty rarely.
And, cryptocurrencies, it's right there in the name. I use that as currency on a regular basis.
Can be a currency and an investment at the same time, and that's what cryptocurrency and gold and silver are. So, Melanie, the concern was sort of about the price. Was that generally what the email or whatever?
Somebody messaged me, said talk about Bitcoin and why the price is dropping, and I'm like, I am
we
not
don't know
really
why.
qualified to do that.
I've pulled up what the rate. I'm on the BitcoinAverage.com website right now. Scrolled back on their chart 1 year ago, February 5th, 2017, the average price of Bitcoin was $1,036.89.
Wow. $1,036. And back then, that was like, woo! We're getting close to a record high.
Right.
The toll-free number here, 855-450-FREE like freedom. Story from the New York Times is rubbing it in the face of Bitcoin as Bitcoin bubble loses air, frauds and flaws rise to the surface. We'll see what the Times has to say on likely an attack against Bitcoin here. They're dancing on the grave. Is it all over? It's Free Talk Live.
I got my Blink home security system delivered right to my door. I downloaded the app and it walked me right through the easy setup. Even with my complicated router system, I was done in like 10 minutes. Now it notifies me whenever something moves in front of the wireless cameras, or I can just check it whenever I want right from my phone. And I got you a deal. Get 3 Blink cams for what the other guys charge you for 1, plus an extra 10% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL.
From the third letter of Captain Mark. The Crown's observation conditions us to be dishonest with ourselves. Therefore, constant surveillance produces a society of constant deception. Honest communication is the seed of civilized conduct. To deny us this seed is to deny us its fruits. But the Crown's primary objective is to stifle free thought itself, to make its subjects incapable of dissent. Seasoned pirates have always encrypted messages and codes and ciphers, so intercepted transmissions were incomprehensible. But today, the Crown possesses advanced tools of pattern recognition that document, profile, and predict our every move. Today, piracy requires hailing frequencies completely invisible to the Crown. We are tired of poltergeists in the static. Looking for a community of like-minded scoundrels, or just want some swag to let the Crown know what you think of it? Join the conversation at pirateswithoutborders.com.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
A Rasmussen poll reveals that nearly all American voters share a deep fear of botching another election, with most voters admitting that selecting candidates for public office is something they're historically just not particularly good at.
I really hope I don't completely fuck things up as usual, but you never know. Things do happen.
According to the poll, 3/4 of voters said Election Day panic would cause them to base their vote entirely on hearsay, while 93% acknowledged that they only recognized names of local candidates from signs along state highways. In Cedar Rapids, Iowa, stunned friends and acquaintances expressed shock and disbelief when a body found in the woods turned out not to be Justin. Local residents found the naked corpse draped over a tree stump Saturday, and as news spread, many found themselves struggling to comprehend how it wasn't Justin lying dead in the forest.
I heard the news, and I still can't come around to it. I just can't imagine that it's not Justin there lying dead in the woods. Are they absolutely sure it's not him?
Friends and family are still urging authorities to double-check the body, or at the very least, bring in Justin as a suspect.
This is the Onion News Network.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. Dial toll free to join us on the radio. Our number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. With you here in the studio tonight, it's Ian,
Melanie,
and Darryl.
Also, if you want to get the basics about Bitcoin, the best place to go is Bitcoin.com. That's easy enough to remember. Bitcoin.com. They will give you the info on what cryptocurrency is all about, so you can have a basic understanding of Bitcoin, so you can maybe be more informed when it comes to making a decision about whether or not you might want to acquire some Bitcoin or some other kind of cryptocurrency. So go to Bitcoin.com to get started. If you're not brand new, you'll also find Bitcoin.com useful simply because it is loaded up with all kinds of news headlines. They've got news.bitcoin.com, which is where you can go to get the latest headlines from the world of the Bitcoin universe, which is a very deep and interesting world. Highly recommend that you check it out over at news.bitcoin.com. As we continue here, we'll, of course, take your calls and thoughts about whatever's on your mind. We've been discussing Bitcoin here. People are wondering about the price. I mean, we were crowing about how exciting it was to see it running up to 10, 15, almost 20,000 US dollars per Bitcoin, and it absolutely was exciting. But some people were saying this is a bubble. Others were saying it's a growth curve. And I still think that it is on the growth curve side of things. It's just that Bitcoin has taken a tumble, as it tends to do. It's a big one. There's no doubt about it. But is it the biggest one that we've ever seen? Well, it may not be over yet. It may be down to $5,000 tomorrow. It may go below $5,000. Who knows? Maybe Bitcoin's tumbling is going to be an opportunity for one of the other cryptocurrencies to rise up and give it some serious competition. Now, what we have seen is that the other cryptos tend to follow Bitcoin's lead, not that they're taking their own lead, but who knows when that's going to change. Maybe 2018 won't be the year of Bitcoin Core as we know it, BTC, which, it's been interesting to watch all of this happen. Melanie, you've had people asking you about it online. You say that we're not, you said in the Discord that we're not qualified to talk about these matters?
That's not what I said. We're not. People are at. I feel like people a lot of the time ask me for advice that I'm not qualified to give, and I have people ask. I am not a financial analyst.
Nope, you're an accountant.
Yeah.
You can analyze numbers.
Even the financial analysts don't know exactly why. Because in order to know why the price is going up or down means that you would have to wind up having conversations with every person who is buying or selling at that given time and then try to calculate statistically what the motivations are. Anything else is speculation.
But like somebody's asking me to analyze a market that I know nothing really about. People call into the show and demand that I give them family law advice, even after I tell them that I'm not qualified to do that.
There's no doubt.
It gets kind of weird.
But who is qualified?
People in that field.
Well, you have Bitcoin, don't you?
Yeah, that doesn't make me...
Well, you're in the field. You've got some Bitcoin. They're asking you about something they don't know anything about. You at least seem like somebody who knows something because you've taken the time to either accept it as payment for your accounting services or some other way have invested in or have purchased Bitcoin. And so from their perspective, you're the expert.
Okay, but does everybody who's holding reserve notes, does that make them an expert on the Federal Reserve? I mean, it's kind of
it doesn't. And I'm not saying that you're an
criteria.
expert on Bitcoin. I'm saying that compared to them, you're an expert. You're somebody who has this thing. You've at least gotten enough knowledge together onto why you want to have this thing. And so you're somebody to whom they can ask questions. Now, I agree with you. The right thing to say to people is, hey, look, I don't know what the hell's going to happen tomorrow or in the next 10 minutes with Bitcoin. I don't know if the price is going to go up. I don't know if the price is going to go down. But I do know one thing, and that is that holding Bitcoin over time has been an effective strategy. And once again, it may not continue to be an effective strategy. This could be the end of Bitcoin. It could tumble from here and go to zero. I think it's always important to point out that you don't ever want to put in something or invest something into whatever it is.
Yeah, the SEC had to come out and tell people that.
Yeah,
apparently people were mortgaging their houses to buy Bitcoin, which is
it's
mortgaging
crazy.
your house for almost any reason
Bad
other
idea.
than to buy it is a bad idea.
Yeah, bad idea.
I mean, because even if Bitcoin went up, what are you gonna do? Sell the Bitcoin to pay the mortgage off? I mean, this doesn't.
Well, yeah, that's what you would do. That's the idea: is you buy Bitcoin in order to then make a bunch of money on it. But of course, if somebody mortgaged their house at $15,000 per Bitcoin, they are hurting real bad
And
right now.
even if it went up to 30, they still would be, because are you going to sell it short term, or are you going to mortgage your
you'd
house
sell
to
it off
day
and
trade
then you'd still have some
because
Bitcoin
that's
left.
incredibly ridiculous.
Right. I mean, it's a highly risky thing.
Because you have to still pay off the mortgage. So if you're going to hold the Bitcoin, this still doesn't work, even if Bitcoin
Well, no, you hold the Bitcoin until it goes up, and then you sell some of it, and you pay off your mortgage, and then you have a paid-off mortgage and Bitcoin. I mean, I get why somebody would want to do that. They were feeling confident.
Because they're an insanely... Okay, look, I understand that I am risk-averse,
Yeah.
but that is just beyond any measure of reasonability.
No doubt. Which is why it's important to have us on the air.
Common sense.
Right. Which is why, we're as qualified as anyone else to talk about this, meaning that, nobody's an expert on what Bitcoin's going to do. I don't
think
care
that
if they
people who know something about cryptology are probably more qualified than me.
You can know about cryptology to talk about cryptology, but we're talking about the price. And you can know everything you want about cryptology, and it has nothing to do with the
product,
price.
which is something that I'm not qualified to evaluate, is relevant to the price of the product.
Sure. And we know the quality is there, because if it wasn't there, the price would be, through the floor. It would be a penny if there was no value to the product.
That's not necessarily true.
Well, yes. One of the reasons why Bitcoin's price is high is because its cryptology is good. If Bitcoin's cryptographic security was crap, then you wouldn't be able to trust it. You wouldn't know that it was going to make it to its destination when you sent it there. You wouldn't know that somebody was going to, or was not going to, duplicate your transaction or commit fraud and pretend as though they're you.
I just kind of tried to, and my position used to be, I'm going to tell you that this is not my field and then give you the best answer that I can give you. But I'm kind of getting to the point where I think I need a question, like, should I do that? Because people are kind of giving me more credence in fields that I know nothing about than maybe they should. Or maybe I should just continue to say that and let people be stupid. I don't know.
I think as long as you're up front and say, hey, look, I'm not an engineer. I didn't design this thing, but I have some of it, and here's what I'm doing. I'm holding on to it. If you want to do that, then you will also either win or lose in the same way that I am winning or losing. That's not investment advice. It's just what I'm doing. And so, you decide how to handle these situations. Get as much input from as many places as you possibly can. And it's a legitimate thing for us to talk about this because we're users of Bitcoin.
And I'm not saying that we shouldn't talk about Bitcoin. I'm just saying that you
said we weren't qualified.
I'm saying specifically myself, but
we are
really
qualified to talk about Bitcoin just as much as anybody else is qualified.
We're not qualified to explain why the price is rising.
No one's qualified to do that.
Dropping.
Because
I think that's what Melanie's point was.
There's more coming up here. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. You can take control. This is Free Talk Live.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX That's 800-34-NO-TAX or my website, danpilla.com.
Looking for that edge during those intimate moments? We see many ads for enhancement, but the side effects include death. At GCN Team, we should change the Healthy Body, Brain, and Heart Pack to the Healthy Libido Pack. The brain and heart are not the only organs that require a healthy vascular system. For proper blood flow at the right moment, go to GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippie! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
Hey guys, Mark Claire here, lionsofliberty.com, where we strive to advance the ideas of liberty daily. We bring you the Morning Roar. That's right, every Monday to Friday we'll have a brand new edition of the Morning Roar, where we provide a roundup of some news stories that you may not find in the mainstream media or even in your typical social media newsfeed. We find stories that relate to the ideas of liberty and provide you with our liberty perspective on them. Every Monday, we have our longest-running feature, Mondays with Murray, named after the great libertarian Murray Rothbard, where we'll examine an article or an excerpt from his works and help convey his view, along with our little spin as well. We wrap it all up every Friday with Felony Friday, where our own John Odermatt goes out and takes a look at some sort of felony. There's felonies committed every day, you know, whether it's a felony committed by the police, a politician, or even an average citizen. You can find all of this and so much more over at lionsofliberty.com. Advancing the ideas of liberty daily.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. You dial in toll free and bring up anything that you want. Our number here is 855-450-FREE. Free Talk Live. Also, you can Skype in. Skype username LRN.FM. The Discord on-air call-in line is available for you as well. Just go to discord.lrn.fm. You can join us there. And it's Ian, Melanie, and Darryl in the studio with you here tonight. We're talking about the Bitcoin price and whether or not we're even qualified to talk about it. And of course we are, just as much as anybody else who has an opinion on something is.
Okay, so I'm not telling people not to have opinions or speculations outside of their field.
Yeah.
I do worry, though, about kind of misrepresenting myself as being qualified outside of what my field actually is.
Anyone's qualified to comment on the price of a thing. I think it's it's responsible to remind people that no one really knows. And I don't care how educated somebody is. I don't care how long somebody's been in the field or how technologically adept they are or how much of an engineer they are. We, as Darryl pointed out before, you don't know anything about why a price does what it does, no matter how educated you are, because you can't know all the reasons why somebody is buying or selling. Hold on. Because you can't know all of the reasons why in any moment, at any fraction of a second, why all of the different transactions are happening and what the motivations are behind the buying and the selling going on. So we really have no idea. We can wildly speculate, but that's about the best that we can do.
Question every single buyer and seller of a product, but we can generally know that, swimming pools sell more in July than they do in January, and that you sell more Christmas trees in November and December.
And there tend to be price
July.
dips in the early portions of the years, according to some people who've analyzed those things. But that also doesn't mean that just because last year or the year before there was a price dip means that this is a price dip. This could be the crash. This could be the end of Bitcoin. Or it could be yet another price dip, as we've seen so many countless times. And I think that's the advice here. And if there is an advice, and we're not legal analysts,
right,
we're not Bitcoin experts, we're not investment advisors.
Cryptocurrencies are not seasonal items like swimming pools and pool
giving an
noodles and
example of
Christmas
a case
trees.
in which you can know why a price of something went up or down.
You can look at history and you can say this goes along with the historical trends, but you still can't really know for sure if it's going to be one of those trends or if it's, the crash of the swimming pool market, or in this case, the crash of the Bitcoin market. All you can do is look and say, look, this is what happened in the past. We don't know if that's what's going to happen in the future, but here's what we're individually deciding to do. I, on the behalf of the Shire Free Church, which has some Bitcoin holdings, am deciding to hold on to them. Are you guys going to hold, or are you going to sell?
I'm not going to sell. I'm going to buy if I can.
Okay.
I'm going to continue using crypto as currency like I have been doing.
Let's go to the phones, to the fun. We got Mark on the line on Skype. Hello, Mark. You're on Free Talk Live.
Yeah, hi, guys.
Hey there.
I'm going to lead with an insult.
All right.
Okay.
Actually, Melanie, is that her name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's right.
About what?
Well, about everything she's been saying so far. Everything you guys have said has been pretty much 100% wrong.
What part?
Okay. Well,
we've been on the air for almost 3 hours here, dude. So, what part of what we've said?
Okay, what you've been saying about knowing about why Bitcoin's going up and what it will do later, or any financial instrument, you can know this stuff. Particularly Bitcoin. Absolutely.
People who are experts can.
Nobody's an expert on what Bitcoin's going to do tomorrow. Are you claiming to be an expert?
Financial instruments, they can be.
Wrong. Yes, you can know why it's doing stuff. Now,
how?
Okay, very easily. The reasons that people buy or sell Bitcoin is what you're looking for. Now, timing is an issue, okay? You never can know when people are actually going to move on something unless there's a very specific reason for it. But one thing you can clearly do with Bitcoin, which is very difficult to do with other things, is you can track to see where the purchases are made from. The blockchain's readily available. I'm just giving you an example of something.
Right, but that doesn't tell you why somebody is buying. Some person might buy to give Bitcoin to their grandson. One person might buy it because they want to purchase things on the Silk Road.
You guys have no clue what you're talking about, and you're making blanket statements that are based on absolute lack of knowledge.
Yeah, that's all we've said is we don't know what we're talking about. So
yes, but you're not. But you're saying.
But we're just as qualified because nobody else knows what they're talking about either.
Wrong.
So can you tell me how you know what you're talking about, sir?
Yes, having actually contributed to creating some of this stuff for the last 40 years. And
wow, you were creating Bitcoin 40 years ago?
Bitcoin's been around since 2009.
Distributed client-server computing systems and economic models.
What's that have to do with how people are buying and selling on the internet?
Did you hear what I just said?
Yeah, you said you're an expert because you've been around for 40 or 50 years in the field. How's that have anything to do with what people are buying or selling on the internet?
You didn't even listen to what I said. So my point that I've been trying to make to you right now is that you guys keep making these absolute statements, which are based on absolutely nothing.
What, the absolute statement of we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow? That's not an absolute statement.
That is true. But that nobody can know is wrong. That is not true.
Nobody can know unless they're a psychic.
No, that's not true.
Can you explain to me how somebody would know what's going to happen tomorrow with Bitcoin? Because if so, they can make all kinds of money by betting on what's going to happen tomorrow.
Sure, absolutely. And I'll tell you, I will give you an example of how I use this exact same symbol. If you know that someone is going to buy or sell, then you'd absolutely know what's going to happen.
Well, how would you know what people are going to do tomorrow?
Okay. Listen to what I said. I didn't say people, and actually there are reasons to know why people will do it. I said a person. If you know that some person with a large amount of money is going to make a trade, you know that what impact it can have.
Okay.
That can be well known. Now, regarding people, you have to understand if they are going to act as a group. So here's an example I used to use when trading stocks for in the tech industry. I was a consultant for a bunch of different companies in Silicon Valley. Now, one thing you got to know is that Silicon Valley is 3 hours behind the East Coast. And people don't come into work at 9 o'clock, or they definitely don't come into work at 8 o'clock. But so they're a little late. And when they do come in, at least all those big companies, at that time, all of the people had stock options. And the first thing they would do, they'd turn on their computers would come up and it would tell them the price. So if now at 9 o'clock-ish when they came into work in West Coast time, that was lunchtime in New York. Mm-hmm. And the trading had sort of come to a lull. The traders are off to lunch. Well, what would happen is based on whether it was high or low, people would either cash in their options or not. And they would get a spike based on whatever was going on. And I knew the reason why. It's because all these people came in, saw this, put their trades in, had the spike. Then the traders came back from lunch and would respond to it. So there was this little gap where you could know with very high probability, certainty, what was going to happen.
You could speculate. You couldn't know.
No. This was not speculating because
it's always speculating until it happens.
Okay, so you're kind of setting up a false dichotomy of 100% certainty and 0% certainty. You can have a qualified opinion, not a qualified opinion, but a opinion as a qualified person. So if I'm telling you, how good a motion to suppress is, my opinion on that is more valid than the guy down the streets. Whereas
that has nothing to do with predicting prices of.
His opinion on an engine is more valid than mine. And it's not 100% because most things aren't ever 100%, but it's close enough to where you know what you're doing versus you don't know what you're doing.
I don't buy it that anybody knows the future of cryptocurrency based on even,
people can make educated guesses, and that's all it is an educated guess.
Yeah. If you want, Mark, stand by because, you claim to know something that other people don't. More on the way here. The toll-free number is 855-450, free like freedom, 855-450-3733. I'm just, my position is I don't know enough. I don't know enough about what people want, what people are doing, what people are thinking, to have any idea what the future holds. I hope the price of Bitcoin goes up. I hope the cryptocurrency world goes up. I think it will, but I don't know.
Thinking about getting into cryptocurrency? It's time you looked into Dash. Dash is digital money that you can use to send instant and private payments anywhere for pennies. Dash offers a decentralized network where miners are rewarded for keeping it strong and safe. Dash has made a huge impact in the crypto world. Start your journey. Check out dash.org for more information and get in now on the future of cryptocurrency. Dash.org.
You've heard of Bitcoin Cash, but did you know there's now a Bitcoin Cash wallet? The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core wallet that allows you to send and receive either currency with anyone, anywhere in the world. The Bitcoin.com wallet supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available for Android, iOS, Windows, Mac, and even Linux. Learn more at Bitcoin.com. That's Bitcoin.com.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $9.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Hi, this is Mark Edge of Free Talk Live. Michael W. Dean's book, User's Manual for the Human Experience, changed my life. In a culture that attempts to turn you into a compliant victim, this book gives you implementable steps on everything from how to be aware of your environment, walking down the street, to business, to how to handle a toxic person in your life. If you're a human, you need to read this book at least once. Go to Amazon and get the Kindle version, or paperback, or an audiobook of A User's Manual for the Human Experience.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. Of course, you can bring up what you want here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Our Skype username is LRN.FM. And in the studio with you here tonight, it's Ian.
Melanie.
And Darryl.
So, unfortunately, the caller who was on the line who was saying we were wrong about everything and that he believes that he can predict the future with Bitcoin has dropped off the line, unfortunately. But, Melanie, you sounded like you were on his side. Are you saying that you agree that you can predict the future?
I don't know if it... I will say that about other financial instruments. I will not definitively say that about crypto because I don't know, but I'm not willing to say that just because I don't know how to do it, therefore means it cannot be done.
Yeah, see, I don't believe that you can predict the future when it comes to what thousands upon thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people are going to do. That's what the price is of Bitcoin. If you go to bitcoinaverage.com, it shows you /USD. It'll show you what they claim is the average price of Bitcoin based on averaging together different markets that at any given moment, at every second, are having transactions and trades go on those marketplaces. Each market has a price based on those trades that are going on at any given moment, and at any given moment you can average those prices together to come up with the Bitcoin average price. That price changes moment to moment, minute to minute, based on what people are doing within those minutes. And those people are all doing things differently. Some people are selling because they see the price going down, they're panicking, and they want to get out. Other people are seeing the lower price. As you said, Melanie, you're buying Bitcoin because of the low price. Others are snatching up those Bitcoins at low prices because it's a great deal.
And then some people have trading bots that, Litecoin went up relative to Bitcoin,
trade.
So therefore trade.
Sell, buy.
This went, that, the other. So there's no way to know why the price is doing X unless you figure out the rationale behind every single trade.
You don't even have to figure out the rationale. You have to figure out what they're going to do. So if I know that toy sales are going to go up in December, and I do know that, I don't have to know that this guy's buying toys because he thinks he's morally obligated to buy Christmas presents.
Well, you can't buy toys. You could buy stock in a company, but just because toy prices or toy sales...
you can go to Toys R Us and buy toys and then sell them on eBay.
I don't know if that's what you're talking... Is that what you're talking about doing, or are you talking about investing in like corporations?
No, buying toys at Walmart or whatever.
And then selling it later for a profit?
No. And then
She's
having
just saying
toys.
More toys get purchased in November and December.
I thought we were talking about investing
on
prices of things here. So that's not what you're referring to.
Okay, but they're still prices. They're not like, even though the government treats them separately, they're not magically special just because one's a product and one's being consumed and one's...
But you were saying, you said toy prices were going up. I thought you were referring to like some sort of stocks or whatever.
I said sales were going up.
Well, sales would be lowering prices.
Okay, but
so
the
generally
prices for most things are going to go up in December anyway.
Not necessarily true. Prices go down in December. You look at the price of a PlayStation 4. I think it was Walmart put it on sale for $200 during a very, very short time frame, and they sold out instantaneously. Some things go down in price because people are competing during the holiday season. The competition is very hot and heavy. So again, nobody knows what they're talking about.
A market that's been around for a long time, and that does
look
have
at trends.
Stable trends. You can look at it and say what it's going to do.
And some people have looked at the trends in Bitcoin and have said that they think that it's just a temporary price dip. But that's just looking at a trend and making a prediction. It's just speculation. And even if you've spent years of your life, as this guy, the last guy that called in claimed he's been in this for 40 or 50 years, even if you've been spending years of your life looking at price trends, you may indeed be more educated on the history of price trends than the average person. But that doesn't mean you know what's going to happen tomorrow. You can have spent all of the last 9 years looking at Bitcoin and looking at what the prices have done. And you can say, as John McAfee did today on Twitter, that there's this wintertime doldrum, this early winter doldrums for the price of Bitcoin. And he believes that the exact same thing is happening in this case. But he's just speculating.
All prices is human behavior, and you can predict human behavior in large enough populations.
I can predict that a large portion of the population in the United States will eat at least one meal tomorrow between noon and 9 p.m.
You're really going out on a limb there. So, you can make predictions, but you're still just predicting and speculating. You may be predicting based on some past performance, but you don't know what's going to happen.
Speculation means that you're basing your predictions on nothing. It means that you
No, it
don't
doesn't.
have enough. Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't. You can speculate based on some sort of inputs, based on some data that is being input that you believe because of past performance something is going to happen tomorrow. But you could be wrong, no matter how many charts you've been studying. And I'm going to bring him back on here because I did ask him if he wanted to hang on. Mark is back with us here. He's called in go ahead. Take us to the cleaners here.
Okay, well, so actually you did come around a little bit and say something correct. Now, here's the key issue, and this is really important. If you're trying to base it off of what has happened in the past, but you don't know why it happened, then you are completely clueless about what's gonna go on. Past has no relevance. What you're looking for is the reason why it happened.
There are thousands of reasons why people buy and sell things.
That's not the issue, though. What you want to look at when you're looking at things in a large basis is what is going to affect a large basis. Now, each individual person, you could know know that individual person, what's going on in their lives, and know what that individual person will do. But that's not what we're trying to look at when we're looking at overall prices for something with thousands or millions.
Yeah, and we're saying you can't know. Darryl and I have said you cannot know the individuals, the thousands of them that make up those large prices. You can't know what the hell they're doing.
No, you don't need to know the individuals. What you need to know is the big things that will cause individuals to make big choices. You're looking at big things, not little things.
Even there, you still don't know what things are going to happen.
Well, but that's what you're looking for. You're looking for things that you do know will happen, and then you know how people will respond to those things.
But people respond differently. Some buy, some sell, based on events.
Now, you see what you just did? You just made a logical fallacy. You flipped it on me, and I was explaining it to you. You want to look at big things, but you just flipped it back to little things. In the aggregate, people will do have a certain reaction.
You're predicting, you say you know what people are going to do. I'm saying I don't know what people are going to do.
You can, both of those statements can be correct. You understand that, right?
Right. Absolutely.
No, I don't believe that he knows what people are going to do. I don't buy that.
What are people going to do tomorrow with Bitcoin?
Now,
since you can know what can happen.
Since he's right about everything and we're wrong about everything. Go ahead.
Okay, again, a logical fallacy that you just used.
No, you're the one who said we've been wrong about everything.
You're the one that said that you've been studying this for 40 years and you know what's going to happen. So tell us what is going to happen.
Okay, again, you can know. I said very early on, the first point is that timing can be very tricky. But what you can know is if you know that something's going to happen, some event, for instance, China is going to put a law into place which bans some usage of Bitcoin, okay? If you know that's going to happen, you know that people are going to react to it, okay? Right. So you can know that. Now, tomorrow, I don't know that there's anything specific that's going to happen that's going to have a major market effect.
So you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow.
How often would you know what's going to happen tomorrow?
Frequently.
Wow, you're like a psychic, huh? So you know the future of what's going to happen. Big events. He's predicting all kinds of things.
Because you're taking something that's macro and trying to make it micro. I can tell you that next year, Louisiana is going to have more felony convictions than New Hampshire, but I cannot tell you how many felony convictions Louisiana is going to have tomorrow.
Precisely.
Okay. So now what?
Okay. Well, this is the key point. You can know some of this stuff, and so when you're talking about big effects, if you know what causes big effects, then you can look for those events to occur.
So what's causing the drop in Bitcoin price, Mr. Know-It-all?
I really don't appreciate the snotty tone there.
I don't appreciate you calling in telling us we're wrong about everything, but you're claiming you know what's going to happen in the future, so why don't you tell us what's happening right now? Why is the price of Bitcoin going down, since you seem to be so in touch with the vibrations of the entire universe and the world?
Well, I'm not going to tell you because you're not paying me to do it.
I see. He's got a newsletter. You can sign up for his newsletter. His name's Mark Profit. Great last name. So anyway, there you go. We're out of time for tonight.
I don't want his newsletter.
But he knows everything, Darryl. If you just follow his advice, you can be wealthy beyond your wildest
I'm sure if I followed
dreams.
his advice, I'd have never got involved in Bitcoin in the first place until it hit 10,000.
All right. We'll see you tomorrow. You can join us online in the meantime, freetalklive.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. Physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
Are you tired of your taxes funding endless occupations around the world? Antiwar.com is run by people who understand that wars abroad become wars at home, wars on our freedoms. Antiwar.com is dedicated to bringing you the latest in news, views, interviews, and reviews from the top movers and shakers in the anti-occupation movement. Antiwar.com has it all, from thorough foreign policy analysis to interviews with whistleblowers who used to run the military-industrial complex. Anti-war, pro-free market. That's antiwar.com.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
The latest episode of Declare Your Independence is next, after the news, here on the Liberty Radio Network, LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Monday, February 5th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.87 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,337 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $32, and the average price of Bitcoin is $7,656. Antiwar.com reports Yemeni forces loyal to the Saudi Arabia-backed Hadi government are, if on top of the right mountain and at the right time of day, within visual range of the outskirts of the capital city of Sana'a. It may be as close as they ever get. The same closeness, after all, has been true for literally weeks on end, and with a mountain range in the way, 25 miles or so isn't exactly walking distance. This is doubly true because gains in the area have long since stopped. Hadi forces have been on the offensive for most of the war, but over the past week saw their own de facto capital city of Aden getting completely routed by a whole different faction of southern separatists, which likely changes their priority from offensive to defensive. Saudi officials are trying to resolve the differences between Hadi's allies and the secessionists, but either way, they probably aren't going to be in a position to commit a bunch of additional troops to attacking North Yemen, meaning the war is as stalemated as ever.
Are you an advocate for free market money? Do you promote Bitcoin as an alternative in a fiat-centric world? Then you need Spendabit in your arsenal, the search engine for things you can buy with Bitcoin. Spendabit aggregates millions of products from thousands of Bitcoin-enabled merchants. Keep your money in the free economy. Visit spendabit.co.
UPI reports a strong shallow earthquake struck the coast of Taiwan on Sunday evening. According to the U.S. Geological Survey, a magnitude 6.1 earthquake struck 21 kilometers north-northeast of Hualien, Taiwan. Reports suggest the earthquake could be felt in Taipei, the capital city of Taiwan. No casualties have yet been reported. Aftershocks with magnitudes between 4 and 5 went rumbling across the country throughout the evening. The epicenter of the original quake was traced to a depth of 12 kilometers. Taiwan News reported a total of 10 aftershocks were reported, with the largest being a magnitude 5.5. Several smaller earthquakes preceded Sunday's main quake. Taiwan is located on the Pacific Ring of Fire and routinely experiences relatively minor earthquakes. The country and its populous capital have, however, experienced larger deadly quakes in the past. A 7.6 magnitude earthquake hit Taiwan in 1999, killing more than 2,500 people.
For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
Reuters reports Amtrak blamed a freight train operator for causing a crash on Sunday that killed 2 people and injured more than 100 others when one of its passenger trains was diverted onto a side track and slammed into a parked unmanned freight train in South Carolina. In the U.S. passenger rail operator's third fatal crash in as many months, Amtrak Train 91, carrying 9 crew members and 136 passengers, was traveling from New York to Miami when it hit the CSX corporate freight train that was stopped on a side track or side siding at about 2:35 a.m. Sunday morning. Amtrak president and chief executive Richard Anderson said CSX was responsible for the tracks and the signals, including one that had a lock attached to it and diverted the Amtrak train onto the side track. He said in a statement, CSX had lined and padlocked the switch off the main line to the siding, causing the collision. CSX did not address the comments by the Amtrak CEO, but said it was working with federal investigators. Both Amtrak and CSX offered their condolences to the families of the two people who died. Robert Sumwalt, chairman of the U.S. National Transportation Board, told a news conference the section of track was operated by CSX and there was a padlock on the switch that steered train traffic onto the siding. Amtrak engineer Michael Kemp of Savannah, Georgia, and conductor Michael Cella of Orange Park, Florida, were both killed. 2 of the 116 people injured were in critical condition after the wreck, which occurred about 5 miles southwest of the state capital of Columbia. Anderson said the passenger train hit the tail end of the CSX train. The NTSB said the CSX train had 2 locomotives and 34 empty auto racks used to transport cars. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Officials at PepsiCo announced today the upcoming launch of Mountain Dew Cineblast after the company's market research team unknowingly fell victim to a malicious focus group that convinced them cinnamon-flavored Mountain Dew was the next big thing.
The people in the focus group, they couldn't get enough of it. And then they said, the more cinnamon, the better. So we are going to put in more cinnamon. We are really excited for people to try this product.
According to PepsiCo's data, all gathered from a single group of ill-intentioned respondents, customers of all ages will love the new soft drink's murky brownish-green color and will soon be lining up to try the carbonated beverage jam-packed with ground cinnamon. Various members of the focus group told reporters they believed the company had made a great decision.
Cineblast is the best. I mean, I can't wait to tell all of my friends to go buy this thing.
Yeah. The only way they can make it better is if they took a couple of raw eggs, mixed them up in the bottle. People would go nuts.
This is the Onion News Network. And now, live from the studios of Freedom's Phoenix, Ernest Hancock.
Believe me when I say we have a difficult time ahead of us. But if we are to be prepared for it, we must first shed our fear of it. I stand here without fear because I remember that I am here not because of the path that lies before me, but because of the path that lies behind me. I remember that for 100 years we have fought these machines. And after a century of war, I remember that which matters most. We are still here! Let us make them remember. We are not afraid! Thunderstruck!
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Declare Your Independence. Me, Ernest Hancock, here in Phoenix, Arizona, FM to BEA, beautiful studios of Freedoms with an S, FreedomsPhoenix.com. Good morning. Yeah, we just hadn't time. We wasn't plugged in and couldn't find plug. Done. Got it. All right. We're glad we got back on and say hello. What's on for the show today? Let's go ahead and take a look. Karen Katowski, first hour, awesome. Trump and the State of the Union. That's all I want to talk to her about. Then in the next hour, we got David DeReamer. Okay. IRS. Do we got to do an IRS show? All right, we got to do an IRS show. We'll do an IRS show. But first, we want to get right to Karen Katowski. What a nice surprise. Good morning, Karen. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing great.
All right. This is what happened. It's State of the Union. And Dottie Barker here, and we're working and doing. I go, do we gotta watch the State of the Union? So I emailed. First thing I did is I texted Charles Goyette, and I said, "Hey, are you watching State of the Union?" He goes, "No, you." Okay, now this is what used to happen when he and I produced for him. We on the air, we'd actually flip a coin or something to see who had to watch the State of the Union. Okay.
Oh.
And then we'd go, and then one of us had to do the report on it. Well, it was my turn, all right? So my thing is that, all right, so I guess you watched it.
I actually didn't watch it. I just read it afterwards.
Oh, okay. Well,
I can't take all that. I can't take all that clapping and applauding.
I know. Well, the Democrats, man, they took a blood oath that they weren't going to stand or smile or for nothing. So
yeah,
they did. Well, reading it, that would be interesting. It's a lot of kind of what Reagan, Clinton used to do all the time. They brought somebody in the gallery to make a point about something. Mm-hmm. And so from reading it, what did you get?
Well, I mean, it was well done. I mean, it was it was crafted very much for the Reagan style audience, Morning in America type stuff. Winning. I mean, it had a lot of Trump. I think of the way Trump thinks about things. Very competitive. Very much. I'm a winner, and he's going to say that no matter what. I mean, I think they must have learned this in the past year, if they hadn't learned it already. He is a talker, and I think the speechwriters, and I haven't studied up on who exactly wrote the speech or anything like that, or how much input he had into it, but the speechwriters, it seemed, crafted a speech for him. So he probably did have some input, or somebody close to him had a lot of input to really give this kind of, it's a boastful speech without really, it's very exuberantly boastful. I mean, that's Trump. I mean, I think it's very much a Trump kind of thing. And so the words were put together very nicely. I mean, it flowed well. It was continuously upbeat and positive. Now, I also looked at the one person I care about who has something to say, Ron Paul. So, I looked at what Ron Paul had tweeted about it. And Ron, of course, rightfully so, focused in on the great problems of not just that speech, but every president we've had in my lifetime. They don't deal with the statist financial, the financial state, the whole statism and how it's funded. They don't deal with that at all, and they refuse to address a truly American constitutional foreign policy. And so, but that's where Ron Paul's criticisms were focused, which is actually a good thing, because that's exactly where we would expect them to be focused. He didn't find a huge deal, a huge bunch of problems in other areas. And I'll give you an example. When he talked about immigration, he said we want to do something for the DACA kids or whatever. But he also said we want to stop, chain migration. We want to stop some of these things that our welfare state creates. Well, Ron Paul has been